Two teams with sky-high hopes this season. The Army Golden Knights parachute team, we're landing with them here in Nashville on a hot, warm, muggy day in Tennessee. And on that field, we welcome in Laura Okmin. Laura.
Hi, Chris. You and Daryl talked about how the Eagles are searching for their offensive identity. Doug Peterson is hoping to find that today in Nashville and doing his part to make that happen. Peterson talked to Carson Wentz yesterday morning, and he told him, let's just go. Let's cut this thing loose. I need to trust you guys to make the plays. Peterson told me that's where I'm at mentally as a play caller and as a coach. Let's take the gloves off and let's go. Chris?
All right, thank you, Laura. And there is Doug Peterson. He said, I know what we want to be. We're just not there yet. They waited a long time for a Super Bowl. They had to wait last week to get Wentz back. And Mike Vrabel, first-time head coach, the 19th in the history of this franchise. Week 4 with the Titans and Eagles underway. And a touchback to start things. Eagles won the toss, deferred. And Marcus Mariota leads the offense from the 25-yard line, and injured in week 1. The arm strength getting better, Daryl. Still the feel, the grip of the ball, that nerve in the elbow, that's still not all the way back.
Yeah, but light years ahead of where he was last week going into the game against Jacksonville. Made all the throws that were scripted. Now, we don't know if that is every throw in this offense. We'll see how that deep ball is impacted by that injury.
Derrick Henry in the backfield. And to throw on first down, he goes back to Henry. And Henry slips a tackle. He's got a first down up across the 36-yard line of the Titans. Team released Rishard Matthews this week in a bit of a surprise. So the receiver core, Nick Williams up promoted, not in the starting group, but an offensive line getting Jack Conklin back in the groove.
Yeah, that starting 5 back together for the first time in quite some time, and they'll be clearing lanes and protecting the passer for a pretty talented group of skill set. This is going to be a real physical game down in the trenches.
After a gain of 13, there he goes. Mariota knocked down at the 45, closing in on 1,000 yards rushing for his career. He runs no matter how that arm feels, and against one of the best defenses in football, certainly the best against the run, the Eagles.
Yeah, and when you talk about defense, it all starts up front, and the questions as they start to figure out this offense, they've got a lot of answers with this defense, and especially up front, really, really strong there, good linebacker level. Secondary, we'll see how they go. They seem to be in a similar situation as the offense, growing and maturing as the season progresses.
Corey Graham in for the injured Rodney McLeod, who is out for the season. Mariota keeps and throws wide open off the fingertips of Corey Davis.
Looks like he's okay with the deep ball there coming out the wide slot. And this is the thing that they're going to have to do. Your eyes, there's a lot of play action. You've got movement of the pocket, and you've got Corey Davis wide open down the field. They just miss on the connection.
That looked like that may have sailed a little bit. You were watching practice on Friday with Mariota. They haven't completed a lot of downfield passes, anything beyond 20 yards, a rarity for this offense in the early going. 3rd and 3. Marcus Mariota has a moment and has Corey Davis again for a first down inside the 30 of the Eagles. He floated that one perfectly against Jalen Mills.
And I think it's a great job by the offensive coordinator, Matt LaFleur, and his play calling to show everybody early in this game that Marcus Mariota can get the ball down the field. A couple of deep shots here on this opening drive. I think it's a great play calling. You're going for the first down. He sells it on the wheel route, gets the defender Jalen Mills to bite.
And as soon as we said that, a 28-yard pass play sets the Titans up at the 27 of the Eagles. Opening drive of this game. Dion Lewis the back. He gets the football and goes nowhere. Loose yardage, knocked back to the 30-yard line. Nigel Bradham from his linebacker spot.
And that's going to be one of the reasons why Marcus Mariota is going to need to be able to throw the ball effectively in this game. They have run the ball quite a bit here through the first 3 weeks, and you're not going to be able to make your money doing that against this Eagles defense. They are #1 against the rush this season. They were #1 against the rush last season. A tough way to earn your money on a Sunday afternoon, running that into that Eagles front.
A lot of defenses talk about stopping the run. The Eagles actually do it. Lewis as a receiver splits out into the slot. Henry's the running back. Second down, high throw, but Lewis calls it in. And at the 24-yard line, catch made. The former Patriot, who was originally drafted by the Eagles, played his college ball at Pitt and bounced around a little bit, but Mike Vrabel, his New England background, I'm sure wanted him here, along with John Robinson, the general manager. Defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz of the Eagles, who spent a lot of time here in Tennessee. Third down and 7. Earlier converted on a 3rd and 3. Mariota's under the heavy rush, gets away, zigzagging, throws, and dropped. Would have been good enough for a first down. Jonnu Smith couldn't make the catch.
Oh, that's a huge drop by Jonnu Smith. Watch Marcus Mariota on this play. They're showing blitz. They drop out. It's just 4, but they collapse the pocket. Philly's so good at getting pressure with 4, but look at Marcus navigate that, finds the open receiver. A huge drop with an opportunity to convert.
That's a time where you miss Delanie Walker, the stud tight end who was injured in the regular season opener for the Titans and out for the remainder of this season. Ryan Succop to try from 42 yards away. It's up and through. Opening drive. Titans, the drive stalls, but the field goal is good. On a 3rd down drop, they settle for 3. Tennessee strikes first. You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Injured Delanie Walker leading the cheer as the 12th Titan since he signed with the Titans in 2013. The most catches of any tight end during that time. And Tennessee missed him on that last drive, an impressive drive that stalled after a drop pass at the tight end position. So Wendell Smallwood back to receive for the Eagles. And he will down it. 25-yard line is where Carson Wentz leads the Eagle offense. His first game back last week. Hit 25 out of 37, had a touchdown, led the Eagles to a win, had a couple of turnovers, said that was more about decision making than rushed.
Yeah, I think the big thing, we questioned the mobility. What was the impact of that brace going to be? And one of the things that Carson came out this week and talked about was the eyes, not seeing the game because he hadn't been in there at game speed. So we'll see if he takes that next step here this afternoon.
Eagles open with 2 tight ends and Alshon Jeffrey from the 25-yard line. Wentz to throw and has time. Deep down the field. Incomplete for Nelson Aguilar.
How about both of these offenses?
Come out
They're
firing.
kind of slugging it out the first 3 weeks.
We thought it was
They're just airing it out here in the first quarter. But you got to be able to have protection, a little play action right there. They do a nice job. They give Carson Wentz the time, taking that shot down the field, and again, just missed that one again.
Going for the big play. They used 3 tight ends to open last week against the Colts when they were at home. Jay Ajayi playing with an injury in his back. Corey Clement is inactive along with Sproles. Open, Zach Ertz to the 42 and an Eagle first down. Since the start of 2017, the Eagles have targeted tight ends more than any other team, and this offensive line giving Wentz some good protection.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe one of the more underrated offensive lines in the NFL. I mean, 2 of the better tackles you'll find in the league. That's a huge plus when you're talking about that starting 5. And again, this group here trying to get some big plays down the field.
Wesley Woodyard, linebacker for the Titans, down. We hope he's okay. We'll update in a moment.
game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Wesley Woodyard headed to the injury tent. John Brown will replace him on the field from the 42 after a gain of 17. First down, Eagles. Ajayi straight ahead, and he's across midfield, and looks like he's got enough for another Eagle first down.
Well, you're not getting that explosive play, but I mean, just big chunks here to start the game. The 17-yard pass, now a big run by Jay Ajayi, and that kind of goes back. You know, you have to have the confidence in your offense to do that. You come out the first play of the game, you're taking a shot down the field. That shows that you're not worried about a 2nd and 10 situation.
He did get the first down, sat out last week against the Colts with that broken bone in his back, but along with Jeffrey back today for the Eagles. Pickup of 10. Ajayi gets just a couple this time. Now, he scored in each of the first 2 games of the season, and they missed him last week. This Titans defense headlined up front by Jones and Jarrell Casey, and of course Woodyard out for the moment, as we showed you moments ago, and a secondary led by a couple of former Patriots on the corners, and Malcolm Butler and Logan Ryan.
Tough to run into this defense as well. We talked about how good Philadelphia's been over the last couple of seasons. Tennessee right behind them.
Josh Adams is in at running back. Wentz avoids the rush, but they got to him and knocked him down, and it's incomplete. It was Casey putting the heat on.
And this is probably one of the plays that Doug Peterson is talking about, where he wants Carson Wentz to be a little bit smarter. Not saying safer, but smarter. Watch him at the end of this throw. He's going to elevate, expose himself, and take a big hit right in the gut.
Again, wearing a flexible brace on that knee after the surgery ended his season last year and the first couple of the games this season before returning last week. Faced with a 3rd and 9, Wendell Smallwood is in the backfield. 3 receivers. Top of your screen to Wentz's right. He's on the move and gets rid of it. The pressure from Brown, who had come in for Woodyard. And it's 4th down.
That's one of the challenges I think that's going to happen with this Philadelphia offensive line, is they've got a bunch of guys standing around in 2-point stances, and you've got to sift through that. You can see Jason Kelsey, the center, number 62, recognizing it late, but unable to get back and get protection.
Cameron Johnston is on, one of 4 current Australian punters who are active in the NFL. Nick Williams, the one-time Falcon, back to receive for Tennessee. Lets it go and into the end zone, so a healthy gain on that for the Titans. They'll come all the way out after that punch instead of being backed up inside the 10. Mariota, who led him to 3, is taking the field in a moment.
Each game is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. And by Burger King. All new juicy crispy chicken tenders are now available. Try yours today, only at BK.
Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, mahalo from Nashville, Tennessee, where Marcus Mariota leads the offense from the 20. Derrick Henry in the backfield to throw again if he can, and he does, and open for a catch across the 40. Up near the 45, it's Corey Davis, the most complete receiver on this Titans team. Boy, they came in the top rushing team in football percentage-wise, and they've thrown it 6 times and run it just twice.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that you're going to see some success here today, and this is huge. Yet I like the fact that you're coming out and sending the message that he's healthy. Now you've got to defend the entire field.
Gain at 20. They go to the line in a hurry, and the defense at that. The pressure was on Mariota. For Michael Bennett, barely had a chance to roll out.
And that was one of Jim Schwartz's big concerns, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, was the mobility of Marcus Mariota. You go back and look at who they've played the first 3 weeks. You have Matt Ryan, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Andrew Luck. You haven't seen this type of movement up the pocket, the ability to boot out the back door. You've got to watch him on the zone reads and the called quarterback run. So a lot more things for the defense to worry about today.
Derrick Henry carry for a couple of yards. It'll bring it third down. Let's get a game break. Say hi to Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, hi there, Chris Myers. How about this start? Mitchell Trubisky saying hi to Trey Burton, wide open against the Bucs. Just like that, 39-yard score in the opening drive. And the Bears have a lead, 7-0 over Tampa Bay. Chris, Moose, and Laura.
All right, thank you, Kurt. We'll see you on the Visa halftime report with all the highlights and updated scores with the gang. So now, third down and 8. Dion Lewis catches well out of the backfield. It's Davis in motion. Eagles threaten blitz. Here they come. Mariota runs right into him, and it's going to be a Philadelphia sack. Give Bennett and Jordan Hicks. That's why they're celebrating, although Fletcher Cox part of that as well, enjoying the sack on Mariota.
Yeah, as good as they are at bringing pressure with just their down 4. Now you're going to add 3 guys into it as well. So a tough job for that offensive line, running back, tight end, coordinated to pick up that pressure.
Fourth down, Brett Kern. Now, the Titans have faked before this season and successfully, but punting to DeAndre Carter, active for the Eagles today. He'll let it go, and that one's into the end zone. Touchback, it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Carson Wentz had the Eagles moving last time before the drive stalled. He'll take over again, trailing 3-0. Sweltering heat here for this time of the year, 80s and humid, so the Titans have some, well, shade on their sideline, not so much for the visiting Eagles.
Yeah, but they'll have that nice little air conditioning, portable air conditioning. You see a lot of guys kind of hanging out in that one corner of the sideline, cooling down a little bit.
From the 20-yard line, Ajayi at the back. Again, Darren Sproles and Corey Clement inactive today. Wentz's throw to Zach Ertz. Straight up the gut for a 37-yard or pickup for a first down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, these types of plays are so challenging because you're going after the eyes. Watch 86, Zach Ertz. You know, your eyes are everywhere. You got to honor the play action. Nice route right there, kind of bubbles it out a little bit to find that open spot in the zone.
So again, it's 17, a 3 tight end formation now on first down, with Dallas Goedert and Joshua Perkins joining Zach Ertz, who leads the team in catches. Wentz in trouble, and he's sacked on a blitz. Malcolm Butler.
Carson Wentz has his back to this on the play action. Here comes Marcus Butler right there, upfield, right away, clean to the quarterback.
A 9-yard loss back to the 28-yard line. Mike Vrabel, this defense come at you from a lot of different directions. Smallwood as a receiver goes out. Wentz looks that way, throws the other way. Ajayi is brought down right away. Laura.
They're getting it done defensively right now without Wesley Woodyard on the field. He is in the locker room being treated for a stinger, and his shoulder. His return is questionable, Chris.
All right, thank you for that update. It's another loss. 3rd and 21. To get all the way up to the 47-yard line. Wentz in the pocket, throws that far and on target, but Nelson Aguilar couldn't hold it.
This looks like it was a great throw by Carson Wentz. Let's see what happens at the point of the catch. Gets vertical, finds that little soft spot right there. Really nice job on the coverage, coming in right at the point of the catch by Logan Ryan, making the hit, but Nelson Aguilar with an opportunity to make a huge catch and convert a long 3rd down right there.
Each team with a major drop in a key situation that would have given their team a first down. Johnston to punt, standing at his own 12-yard line. Nick Williams back to receive. It's a good kick. He's backpedaling inside his own 10. And Williams heads upfield. Flag down, and he's knocked down 15-yard line, just beyond the Tennessee 15. A booming kick by Johnston, who has kicked a 65-yarder before, and this one went 68 yards.
Yeah, and then they're going to get some penalty yardage here. I just don't understand. Dane Cruikshank, one of the better special teamers, not only for the Titans, but around the league. And if you can see the back of the guy's jersey, you can't hit him.
Illegal back in the box. Return team number 29. That foul will be penalized half the distance to the goal. First down, Tennessee.
If I'm chasing you downfield and I see Myers across your back, I'm not going to touch you because I can't. Watch, I don't understand.
That looked like an accident.
Out in the middle of anywhere. I mean, everybody's going to see you. You just trust your returner that he's going to be able to make the first guy miss.
Well, maybe he didn't see the MYERS. He saw Cruikshank, which is spelled differently. It might have thrown him off. All right, that is a major penalty, all kidding aside, though, Daryl, because it backs up and it really changes the field position.
You just
game.
flipped the whole field.
Titans at their own 7-yard line. Derrick Henry is the running back for Mariota. He fakes Mariota from his end zone. Open for a first down catch just short of the 20-yard line on a well-delivered throw. Taywan Taylor.
That's kind of funny. Last week we were watching Carson Wentz to see how his mobility was going to be coming back from that injury. Today we're watching Marcus Mariota. How is his hand going to be? How are those fingers going to impact his ability to throw the football? At this point, I have not seen any issues.
On almost every big pass play they complete, they hurry to the line. And we got a flag before the snap.
Before the snap, false start. Offense number 13. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Taylor, who made the catch just a moment ago. Remains first down, but it backs the Titans up. Mariota 5 out of 8, over 80 yards passing already. And we still have over 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Corey Davis, bottom of your screen, matched up with Jalen Mills. He goes the other way and open. It's Taylor again. And he fights to get across the first down marker against Ronald Darby.
Great job, great job. And this offense is giving the Eagles defense a lot to look at pre-snap. Watch, here comes your jet sweep motion. Is he going to hand it off? No. There's your play action right there. So on your way to the quarterback, in your pass rush, you are deciphering so many different things. And there's the effort you talked about at the end, Chris. That's a great job getting that first down.
Titans came in, their offense just 2 touchdowns in the first 3 games. Moving the ball well with a field goal here in the opening quarter. Knocked down right away. Boy, try to run against the Eagles. Dion Lewis, I mean, he barely got the football before Bennett and Haloti Ngata smothered him.
Yeah, it's just some of those opponents where you go into the game and you know it's going to be a tough day running the football. So you've come out and they've thrown it a little bit more here in the first quarter, probably than they have in the first 3 weeks. Not because Marcus Mariota is also feeling better, but you don't want to run the football into that front all day. You've got to come out and soften them up a little bit with your play action pass and your drop back pass.
I know Mariota said that half glove. He'd rather not wear a glove, but he still needs that for a better grip. Lewis as a receiver, bottom of your screen. Blitz coming. He goes to Lewis. He slips one tackle, and a few more as a swarm of Eagles got there. But Lewis got away from him at a fired up Titan sideline.
One of the things that Jim Schwartz talked about, his guys in the secondary had to do a good job of, was tackling in space. And you can see right here, Jordan Hicks has an opportunity. He misses. Jalen Mills misses. A couple of missed tackles right there. Right now, both of these teams with a really small margin of error due to what they're dealing with here in the first 3 weeks of the season, having a lot of negative plays, kind of beating themselves a little bit here with drops and missed tackles, penalties.
Lewis is only 5'8", got 11 yards on 3rd and 1, short of the 40. Mariota keeps and gets the first down without like an old college play. A little extra shoving going on down there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is kind of the evolution of Marcus Mariota. We haven't really kind of seen that emotion before. We talked to offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur about it. He said, listen, it's his personality, and you can't be something that you're not. The guys recognize that, and they won't follow you. But he says, listen, when Marcus speaks, people listen. When Marcus leads, people follow. You can see a little bit of that right there. I loved him getting back up and getting in Malcolm Jenkins' face.
Soft-spoken from Honolulu, Hawaii. Derrick Henry has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Laura.
And talking about that, every teammate we talked to on Friday talked about it was a big deal before the Houston game when Marcus yelled to them before the game. I talked to him, he said, I haven't done that since college, but here's the thing, I haven't needed to. He said there was a lot of emotion coming in because I wasn't playing, so I was feeling it. These guys sniff authenticity and when you're not, so he said, I will continue to do that only when need be.
Last week was the first time he came off the bench since high school and led the Titans to victory after a loss of 1. First quarter winding down, going deep, down the middle, off the hands of Taywan Taylor, and Ronald Darby was running right there with him.
Love the aggressive play call. They've got to finish these plays. I mean, the big drop by Jonnu Smith in the red zone on 3rd down, and here's another one. You dial these plays up during the course of the week. There's opportunities in the game. A little stutter-go. He's beyond him. It's a good throw by Marcus Mariota. A little bit of contact there maybe early by Ronald Darby, but they're letting him play. Could have called a pass interference on that. Probably should have called a pass interference on that.
That replay, the hand to the face mask. Didn't see that the first time. Now 3rd and 11. And a timeout with 38 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Titans need to discuss it. Now this message from Geico. Titans use their first timeout of this half. And when we talked to Mariota, I asked him about playing with the injury. Will you hold anything back? He said, no, I'm going to run the way I always do. And we've seen that. He's attempted 11 throws. He's run himself twice, some by design. On 3rd and 11, a high throw for Taylor, who tries to break a tackle, gets up near the 48. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
I tell you, he almost came out of that one. He was almost able to make some guys miss and have an opportunity to get another 1st down through his effort.
Titans, who have been a very good first quarter team when it comes to scoring and controlling the game, the tempo. It looks like they've been able to do that here as the first quarter is winding down.
Yeah, that was a nice job. We talked about how Philly had flipped the field with a great punt and then the penalty. Now Tennessee's got an opportunity to flip it right back to them.
End of the first quarter. Titans lead the Eagles 3-0. It's the NFL on Fox from Nashville. The NFL on Fox with Doug Peterson and the Eagles after the opening quarter. About ready to receive the football, and a look at the first quarter numbers. The time of possession jumps out at you.
Yeah, but it's 3-0. You know, opportunities for more points are the big drop by Jonnu Smith on that opening drive was a tough one, and then a couple of big shots down the field. They haven't been able to finish the play.
Brett Kern bounces and excellent inside the 5, down right at the 5 by LaShawn Sims. Good special teams work there. The Major League Baseball postseason is here. Forget the stats and the streaks and the All-Stars. The only thing that matters is October now. The NLDS begins Thursday, and you'll see it on FS1. We know the teams that are in. Cubs, Dodgers, Braves, Brewers, Rockies. It's who goes where.
One of the things that a lot of people won't talk about, that's a great job by Tennessee. They started their last drive on their 7-yard line. After that great punt by Cameron Johnson and the penalty, they turn around and flip the field, force the Eagles to start at their own 5-yard line. So nice job by the offense getting it out towards midfield, the opportunity to down that ball inside.
And 3 tight ends in, with most teams would indicate run, but we know this team will throw it out of any formation. Jai gets the football and has a hole. And once he got to the 10-yard line, a group of Titans shove him back. Malcolm Butler from his corner spot leading the way.
3 tight ends out of necessity last weekend with the injuries at running back and a little bit there at wide receiver also. So it's Doug Peterson told us, he goes, that's not who we want to be. Trust me, I know we were effective and it was something we were able to use during the course of the game, but I do not want to be a 3 tight end offense. So good to have Alshon Jeffrey back in the lineup.
After a gain of 6. Handoff, Ajayi, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Let's get a game break. Hey, Carissa, how are you?
Great, Chris. How about you? Lions trailing 3-0 in Dallas. Matt Stafford finds Golden Tate for this 45-yard score. Lions up early in this one, 7-3. Now I will ask you how you're doing.
All right, thank you. Carissa enjoyed your chat with the Eagles defensive players. Hope you saw it on Fox's pregame shows to lead you into the games. Defense has done a good job today, but the offense yet to get going. Smallwood the back on 3rd and 4. Ertz has been the go-to guy for Wentz. Sideline throw, and the catch, hauling it in. His first catch of the year, Alshon Jeffrey.
That's the one thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to find that big play into this offense, and whether it was coverage or the opportunity down the field with the size mismatch, what a heck of a throw by Carson Wentz. That's a pretty tight coverage right there on Alshon Jeffrey and puts it in a great spot.
Yeah, and he held on, something in some key spots receivers today had not done. A gain of 31. Wentz to throw again. That's Aguilar to the 48. And Wentz, we saw him when he came back last week against the Colts at his first game take a hit, and he's getting them here.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Doug Peterson expressed a little bit of concern about. Some hits and 5 sacks last week against the Colts. Need to shore that up front.
Wentz is 5 out of 9. Smallwood juggling and couldn't hold it, and that's incomplete. You saw Jeffrey make his first catch of the year, the go-to downfield receiver for the Eagles. He had that off-season rotator cuff surgery, but he was also bothered by a stomach virus this week that affected a little bit of his practice schedule. But with him and Aguilar in there, and of course Zach Ertz in the tight end collection, there's Jeffrey taking a breather. Wentz has a lot of choices. Kamar Aiken is in the slot. Wentz with time. Floats it for Aguilar. And incomplete. Logan Ryan was in between the ball and Aguilar.
Had a little bit of pressure coming in from his right. He slid to the left a little bit. Does it impact this throw? Because it was a little bit underthrown by Carson Wentz. Does Arakpo do anything there? Is there anything coming up the middle there?
3rd down and 10. There's a look at, if he let him a little bit, might have been able to connect. Aguilar wanted a flag. That's Ertz dancing around. Pressure coming, and he got rid of it. Incomplete pass is what it's ruled. Jarrell Casey, all 300-plus pounds, in on Wentz.
Yeah, they're very mobile in what they're doing here defensively. You're going to get pressure added in different situations. You got your down linemen, and again, if you see them struggle the previous week, let's come out and see if they've got their situations cleaned up in that offensive line.
For a moment, the officiating crew considered intentional grounding, but correctly left it alone, but worth discussing. Sean Hockley, our referee. Nick Williams again is back for the Titans. So they did what you talked about, Daryl, coming back from their own, inside their own 5-yard line, moving the ball up. So now the Eagles should be able to pin the Titans back as the field position game continues in a 3-0 game.
Back and forth. Somebody's going to have to start to make plays once you get down towards that extended red zone area. Get inside that 25-yard line. Give your offense and your special teams an opportunity for points.
A high kick and the pressure was on. Inside the 11-yard line is where the Titan offense will take over. Excellent defense. We told you you'd see two of the better defenses in the league this year. And that's the way it looks in Nashville. With Laura Oakman, Daryl Johnston, and Chris Myers here in Nashville. Well, the Titans are used to these one-score games, close games. Eagles, even going back to their Super Bowl title, their last 3 wins have all ended on last gasp passes. Hail Marys from the opponent. Derrick Henry, one of the better runs today against this Eagle defense. A first down to the Titan 25.
Again, one of the things Jim Schwartz talked about was tackling in the secondary, and you're going to see Ronald Darby, number 21, come in from the right side. He's got an opportunity. That's a big man coming. You got to bring more than that if you're going to get Derrick Henry down.
Equals his longest run of the season of 14 yards. Second-round pick out of Alabama, his 3rd year in the Heisman Trophy backfield with Mariota and Henry.
Hey, I need you, Corey.
Mariota drops it in there perfectly. Corey Davis goes out of bounds on another Titan first down.
Working across the field. Again, it's the play action. You can see the bite up by not only the linebackers, but actually some of the secondary players. That little step forward allows Corey Davis to get off that line of scrimmage, find that soft spot.
Overcoming an early drop. Titans had 3 drops already in this first quarter plus. Gain of 17 there. Dion Lewis in the backfield, so the Titans get out of their own end zone. Lewis, only 5'8", squirming his way short of the Tennessee 45, and the clock runs under 10.5 to go before the half.
And I really have liked the way that Matt LaFleur has called this game for Tennessee. And we had opportunities like this playing against the Eagles back in the day when they had that defense of Clyde Simmons and Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Andy Harmon and Byron Evans. I mean, Seth Joyner. It was so hard to run the football. You come out and you do the play action pass. You've got some drop back pass, but you don't get away from the run. You sprinkle it in from time to time. Keep that defense honest. It's been a nice job here in the first half by Matt LaFleur with his play call.
Mariota, Lewis. Malcolm Jenkins wasn't going to let him get away. Matt LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, his first year here in Tennessee, was with the Rams and Sean McVay last year. And he actually interviewed for the head coaching job with the Titans before Vrabel got it. And when he did, when Vrabel got the job, he called the Rams and said, hey, should I even bother check? And McVay's good friends with LaFleur and said, yeah, you know, just give him a shout, see what he thinks. You figure offensive could have been moved. The block that move could have been blocked by the Rams, but it wasn't. And he was happy to get the opportunity to work his offense here in Tennessee.
And Mike's 58, Mike's 58.
Sideline throw, almost caught. He had to throw it before Taywan Taylor looked. Good coverage, it still had a chance. And now it's going to be 4th down.
One of those situations where the quarterback puts the ball in a position where only his receiver is going to be able to catch it. This is a really nice throw by Taywan Taylor. Watch at the end of it. I mean, it's on that back shoulder. Inside guy coming out, down the field. It's good coverage by Sidney Jones, but that one spot almost made the completion.
So the field position game continues. I don't want to sound like I'm repeating this, but that's why it's only a 3-0 game. Each team is moving it, but the defense tightens when they cross midfield. And that, wow, they go out of bounds inside the 5. Spectacularly placed by Brett Kern. The punt going out puts the Eagle offense in a hole. 0 touchdowns. It's one of the reasons the Titans, this defense, have been able to win 2 out of 3. Despite the injuries on offense, that Brett Kern punt, 49 yards without a return, perfectly spotted at the 3. Punters are having a busy afternoon. Wentz to throw from his own end zone. Zach Ertz makes the catch. Short of the 10-yard line with Kevin Byard. on the coverage, and the pressure on both quarterbacks has been good, especially on Wentz.
Yeah, and they're getting in a number of different ways. There's a linebacker pressure up the middle. You're going to come off the edge with Malcolm Butler and get a sack there, and then also just your down lineman just working through and pressing that pocket. So Dean Pease's group has done a nice job, and it was one of the things you saw on film. They've got very athletic pass rush style linebackers that will move throughout that front. So the Eagles have to be sure they've got everybody counted up correctly.
Each team with a sack so far. Second down 6 for Wentz, who is 6 out of 13. He'll hand it off to Ajayi. And it'll bring up third down.
He talked about the back and forth with field position during the course of this first half. Here's an opportunity right now for the Titans defense to kind of slam that door a little bit. Force the Philadelphia Eagles to punt the ball backed up deep in their end to create better field position for Marcus Mariota in that offense.
Jarrell Casey has had a heck of a first half. Smallwood the back on 3rd and 3. Smallwood, and it looked like they were going to blitz. He's got enough for the first down. Didn't hear the whistle. Went into a crowd, but it wasn't until he got past the first down marker that we heard it. We saw Smallwood run tough late in the game last week against the Colts when the Eagles had their game-winning drive.
Exactly. 5'10", 208, pushing the pile last week. He wasn't down there. Great job staying alive and pushing the pile again this week.
You can hear the whistle there. So from the 15-yard line, Smallwood remains the back. The pitch, it's Aguilar, and he gets up across the 20. Let's check in for another game break with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Chris. So Bears up 14-3 on the Bucs when Mitchell Trubisky to Tariq Cohen for this 9-yard touchdown. That's Trubisky's 3rd passing touchdown in the first half. Bears lead 21-3. Chris, call to Jameis?
Not yet, but after the bye week, you'll probably see Winston replace Ryan Fitzpatrick, who did start for the Bucs. Thank you, Carissa. The Bears at the top of the NFC North.
You're saying the Fitzmagic is gone, Chris?
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying Winston is waiting. Pass catch. Ball's knocked loose and goes out of bounds. Alshon Jeffrey made the catch. Malcolm Butler knocked it loose. The spot will be big because he'll lose yardage. The ball going backward.
Yeah. Obviously had the yards for the first down. Popped out.
3rd down and 4 with the ball at the 21-yard line of the Eagles. Neither team has been close to the end zone in the first half of this game. The Eagles are a long way off. Zach Ertz with a first down, falling across the 31-yard line. Crisp pass from Wentz to Ertz.
Yeah, these ones are so hard to defend when you've got a quarterback and a receiver that have really good chemistry and good feel, and that's exactly what Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz have developed in their short time together. It's just hard to do. You can't really defend something short like that.
Ertz told us that we embrace getting everybody's best shot. We know that we're the defending Super Bowl champs. We expect it, and they're getting it today from this underdog Titans team. Wentz. Open middle of the field is up just across the 44. Ertz again short of the 45, but another Eagle first down.
I mean, how does he get that open, right? He's the one guy you got to stop, and here he is at the point, and you know, it's a good release. You know, it's good route design, but yeah, hey, where's 86? You know, don't lose track of that guy.
Well, that's the first thing Mike Vrabel told us after Friday's practice. We're going to watch. They've been throwing at this guy ever since he's been in the league at a rapid pace. Now he goes to the bottom of your screen as a receiver after a gain of 13. Open, catch made. Jordan Matthews. It's going to be an Eagles touchdown. They gave Wentz the time, but his good buddy Jordan Matthews connects. And Matthews, who played his college ball at Vanderbilt, celebrates.
Top of the screen split out wide. He just runs by Malcolm Butler. He was waiting on something. I don't know if he thought he had some deep help, but he was real late getting out of his back pedal, and Jordan Matthews ran right by him.
A well-delivered ball, and Matthews on the fly. And didn't Ertz tell us where, I think those explosive plays are coming for this offense. They're there. We're going to find them. We'll reveal them, and they did on that play. Ertz set them up, and Matthews closed it out. So a little pushing back and forth here in Nashville, but the big shot. Carson Wentz to Jordan Matthews that has Doug Peterson smiling.
This game is sponsored by Booking.com and by McDonald's. Hurry in to play McDonald's new Trick Treat Win game. Starts Friday. No purchase necessary.
Drive started on the Eagle 3-yard line, 97 yards covered. Wentz was 6 out of 6 on the drive, including the touchdown pass to Matthews of 56 yards. And the Eagle offense could afford to be patient in this first half because the defense kept it to a 3-0 game. Now it's 7-3 Philadelphia. Jake Elliott, a high kick. Touchback 25-yard line for Mariota.
And I don't know. I mean, you watch this linebacker, you watch this safety, and you wonder if Malcolm Butler thought he had some help deep, but they both jumped the tight end, and he's playing it kind of soft outside leverage, and then all of a sudden, Jordan Matthews is on the inside and by him, so maybe a breakdown in coverage where you had your safety and your linebacker both going to that short area to cover the tight end, Dallas Goedert.
Titans have not scored a touchdown in 8 quarters and 11 minutes plus. Now trailing by 4. 2 timeouts just over 4 minutes before the half. Mariota is sacked. Goes down at the 15-yard line. Derek Barnett from Brentwood and a former Tennessee Volunteer.
Had the big game or the big play to close the game out last week, coming from that right defensive end position. Nice move back to the inside against Taylor Lewan.
His 33 sacks when he was in college, a school record. And the pressure on Mariota by Jim Schwartz's defense. Loss of 7. Davis overthrown. Good coverage back there, and it'll bring up 3rd and long. Jalen Mills staying with Davis.
That's the hard part about playing against this Eagles defense, is they can get that pressure with the front four. We saw Derek Barnett on the sack on the play earlier. That time, Fletcher Cox is pushing the pocket from the inside. He's coming right at Marcus Mariota.
Defensive line stays fresh. I asked Jim Schwartz about the rotation. He said, I can't really tell you. It's like how you use your bullpen. It's a feel thing, the way the game goes. But it seems like Fletcher Cox is out there a lot.
He stays in that rotation all day.
Underneath, Taylor has it. And it's tackled short of the first down, just short of the 30-yard line. Eagle defense does its job. And now it's 4th down. Just over 3 minutes. Eagles will have all 3 of their timeouts. DeAndre Carter back to receive. A outstanding game for Curran so far, averaging over 51 yards a boot. Went to the Pro Bowl last year. Last time he put that ball down inside the 5, and at the 3 the Eagles marched all the way. Then the big play to Matthews for the touchdown. Up across the 36 before he is shoved back. And there's a flag on the play. And some officiating sorting it out. Only had 2 accepted penalties so far.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask, return team number 22. That penalty would be enforced from the end of the kick, half the distance to the goal. First down, Philadelphia.
Sidney Jones called for the infraction. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, nice to have you watching the NFL on Fox from Nashville. Interesting game so far. How do you size it up? This is what the Titans, the game they wanted to play. They'd rather be leading. Are they frustrating the Eagles?
No, I don't think so. I think what happened in the beginning of the game, the Titans had opportunities to make plays. Marcus Mariota misses Corey Davis on an opportunity for a big play. Jonnu Smith, a huge drop on a third down that would have given them first down inside the red zone. So there was opportunities for Tennessee early in this game. And now here comes Philadelphia. This is a seasoned team. They battled adversity as well, just like Tennessee. Now they've got the momentum back. So there was an opportunity there for Tennessee to really kind of grab this game here in the first half. They weren't able to do it, and now Philadelphia has done that.
And that penalty puts Peterson's team back to the 14-yard line, hurts their field position. As far as both quarterbacks' health goes, so far so good for both Wentz and Mariota coming back off of injury. And on first down, Wentz, who is 11 of 18, over 160 yards and a touchdown. See where he goes. Quick pass. Zach Ertz across the 15, and the clock ticking. See if the Eagles want to take this to the 2-minute warning. That's the 6th catch of the game for Ertz. Leads all receivers in that department. We've reached the 2-minute warning in Music City, and the Eagle offense is humming with a 4-point lead. Piece of halftime report coming up. Undefeated Dolphins, who the Titans started the season with in that marathon game in Miami. Check on them against the Patriots. Among other highlights, on 2nd and 8, all 3 timeouts for Wentz of the Eagles. Wentz to throw. Alshon Jeffrey, catch made and goes out of bounds.
You don't want to get too far away from what's been effective here in the first half, and I think what Dean Pease and his defense has done for Tennessee is adding guys into that rush. They haven't had a whole lot of success when it's just been the 4 down guys, but when they've added some linebackers or some secondary people, they've given the Philadelphia Eagles some issues in their protection.
Jordan Matthews, bottom of your screen, who had the touchdown catch a moment ago. Wendell Smallwood in the backfield, and he gets the football and goes nowhere. Well, you started this broadcast saying the Eagles, and they admitted, Doug Peterson said, our offensive identity, we haven't had all the parts. We know what we want to be. We're not there yet. Against a very good defense, how would you describe it so far?
I think they're taking that step, but they still don't have all their parts, right? Corey Clement's not in, Darren Sproles is not in, so a lot of those weapons still not here. So he is still adjusting to the personnel week to week and trying to manufacture yardage and points.
After a loss of 3, pressure coming, it's picked up outside, and the catch made right across the first down marker at the 35-yard line. Kamar Aiken makes the grab. Laura.
And here's the thing with finding that offensive identity. When Peterson talked to Wentz yesterday morning and said, the great news is we're going to let this loose, gloves come off. And Carson said, I loved hearing that, but at the same time, we still are trying to figure out who we are. He said, I want to see tomorrow who's going to be the one to step up, who will be the playmakers.
Peterson admitted that he could feel the jitters, pregame jitters last week when Wentz was returning for the first time since that injury. But once the game started, he certainly, just like then, now looks comfortable. And catch made for a first down. Zach Ertz. Eagles trying to hustle to the line. We have a timeout called by the Eagles. Let's get a game break again with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. So the Pats were up 10-0 on the Dolphins when Tom Brady handing it off to James White for this 22-yard score. In fact, the first rushing touchdown of the year for the Patriots. No more panic right now for this team. They lead 17-0. And remember, Pats Colts this Thursday night on Fox. Chris?
Thank you. It's an exciting Thursday night game. The Rams and Vikings, high-scoring Thursday night broadcast on Fox as the AFC East, unusual looking. And now you watch, after this, people are going to doubt Miami's 3-0 record.
But really that unusual in September? Don't the Patriots usually kind of 2-2 in September?
Yeah,
got to worry about them in December.
Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, one of his disciples, of course, played for him. And learned a lot about coaching under him. Pressure on Wentz, who has to rush the throw for Ertz, and it's incomplete. Kenny Vaccaro put the pressure off of his safety spot.
And that's the big thing we're talking about. It's a 2-minute situation. He's going to come from the left side, and he's clean. That's the second time they've gotten the secondary blitzer clean to Carson Wentz in the pocket. So, yeah, we're into a 2-minute situation, but you've been pressuring the quarterback effectively with your blitz package, so don't shy away from that in this situation.
Wentz had been hot, hitting his last 11 passes, completing them. That breaks that string. But a 2nd and 10, just over a minute to go. Deep drop by the safety, and Wentz is going to be sacked at the 37-yard line.
You walk a lot of guys up, and the offense has to count. Everybody has to account for somebody. So you look at all these guys that are kind of standing here. So you've got those 4 guys, you got 3 guys with their hand down. You're sifting through everybody. All of a sudden, you confuse the protection, and you get a free guy right up the middle in that situation. Wendell Smallwood needed to be on the left side, and because everybody's walked up, and that's the thing that I think this group has done here in the first half. More than overpower Philadelphia's offensive line is just kind of confusing their protection.
Yeah, throw him off a little. Sharif Finch celebrating, the rookie free agent who played his college football at Temple, and making a big play to push the Eagles back. They've kept Wentz uncomfortable, now facing a 3rd and 19.
Before the snap, ball start, offense number 65, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So what do you have in your playbook?
For 3rd and 24, we'll go back to that 3rd and they had what was it, 3rd and 21?
Well, they got help on a
Nelson
penalty.
Aguilar almost got that one earlier here in the half. So maybe some of that 4-seam stuff. But again, this is going to be hard. I would expect Tennessee to just rush 4, drop 7 into coverage, drawing a line deep. You're not going to let anybody into that 1st down area. They've got an opportunity here with 59 seconds left on the clock to maybe have a drive of their own coming down to close out the half.
Titans with 2 timeouts, so they play it safe. A run to Smallwood, who slips a tackle. And short of the 1st down, but gets a lot of yardage back up near the 48-yard line of the Eagles. Timeout used by Tennessee. They'll have 1 remaining. And let's see what Kurt Menefee has in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, guys are taking their notes on the Patriots and Dolphins game. And my man Terry is drawing up a game plan as to how the Texans can get their first win of the young season.
Look, I drew you with a hat. Huh?
This is what I have to deal with. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime.
That drawing not actual size, though. Terry, I don't know if he would consider himself an artist. He was back when he played on the football field. Yeah, it looks like we have a player being tended to. It is Vaccaro. Kenny Vaccaro limping, headed towards the Tennessee sideline as he went down over on the Eagles sideline.
There's 24 coming in from your right side. And you can see that arm get bent back, and as he's walking off the field, that kind of holding that right shoulder down.
And Wesley Woodyard went out earlier. The linebacker who leads the team in tackles this year, led him last year. He's been out since early in the 1st quarter. Hope that Vaccaro will be able to return. So the Titans had used the timeout with 49 seconds. Cameron Johnston ready to punt with Nick Williams back. Vaccaro headed to the locker room. And touchback. Titans will get it at the 20-yard line. Well, they came out throwing the football the first 5 drives. They at least were able to move the football, get some first downs.
Yeah, but some mistakes that really kind of hampered him here in the first half. Some opportunities for some big plays down the field to extend drives, and just haven't been able to focus on the details. One of the things that Mike Vrabel wants to see them get a little bit better at. You know, he likes the mental and physical toughness they have, but, you know, getting used to those details that give you an opportunity for success.
3 drop passes by the Titans, or they might have more points on the board.
Lord 80! Points out!
From the pocket, Mariota throws high, and it's intercepted. It's an Eagles takeaway. Avani Maddox dancing around with the pick. And Maddox brought down at the 17-yard line of Tennessee. The rookie from Pittsburgh, who's playing in the grand scheme because of the injury to Rodney McLeod. With Graham starting, he's one of the extra DBs.
Yeah, and I really don't know who that pass was intended for. It's going to come out of a bunch formation on the right side. So here's your bunch right here. That's where everybody's going to come out of. But this sails a little bit on Marcus Mariota. You're going to have one player right there come down into that spot, and it sails, but you got a couple of guys in the same area, so not really sure what was going. Was it the route design? Was it just an overthrow?
Yeah, Nick Williams open short. Corey Davis, the receiver, deeper, but surrounded by Eagles. And the interception and return of 23 yards sets the Eagles up with 1 timeout and 26 seconds. Time for Wentz. Hurts goes out of bounds. It'll stop the clock with 18 seconds to go.
Tennessee got lucky right there. Nelson Aguilar beat his man off the release at the line of scrimmage and got on top, was in that far corner.
Every time the Eagles have been in the red zone this season, they've produced. And Carson Wentz in his career has been outstanding in the red zone. But not a lot of time to play with. Plenty of time here. Ajayi in the area. They ran into each other and no flag.
Nice job by the Titans in their coverage right there. Nowhere for Carson Wentz to go with that football. Smart to put it down the field. Maybe give your Jay Ajayi an opportunity against a linebacker, but it's not going to be a turnover.
Brown, the linebacker, in coverage, and it looked like Wentz wanted to go to Aguilar in the corner, but that wasn't open. He had time to look elsewhere. 1 timeout on 3rd and 3.
You like that matchup down there? Some size.
Ajayi will go nowhere. And it looks like the Eagles want timeout as the clock gets down to the last second or two to try a Jake Elliott field goal.
Real nice job by the Titans defense right there. That would have been critical if you give up 7 in that situation. You've played well the whole first half. We've talked about missed opportunities by the Titans offense to walk in at halftime down 14-3 when you really didn't play a 14-3 type half. That's going to be a big lift for this Titans team.
Elliott, drafted originally by the Bengals in his second year from Memphis. That's where he played his college ball as an outstanding tennis player in high school. Has already been productive since the Eagles gathered him in last year and out of the Super Bowl. 27-yarder, and he's money. And it's a 7-point Philadelphia lead, trailing much of this first half. Now they lead it going to the break. Let's look at the play of the first half, brought to you by Swiffer. Wentz to Jordan Matthews, the only touchdown of this first half. The Titans will be kicking off to start the second half. Eagles to receive the football here in Nashville. Eagles lead at 10-3 on the road. Let's go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report. Time for today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Both the Eagles and Titans have won in a variety of ways to start the season, each coming in at 2-1. Philadelphia has the only touchdown. The Titans haven't crossed midfield since that first drive when they ended up with the field goal. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, nice to have you watching with us. So the Eagles will get the ball first. Tennessee kicking off. What does Tennessee have to do here to stay in this game and give themselves a chance to win another one-score game?
Yeah, Marcus Mariota told us on Friday, we've got to execute when the big play opportunities are there. They had two really good opportunities in that first half. Number one, Jonnu Smith on a 3rd and 7 on that opening drive to convert a first down, give him an opportunity for points, a touchdown in the red zone, drops the ball. And then Corey Davis on a real nice play design, an opportunity for a big play, maybe a long touchdown pass, and Marcus Mariota just misses him by a little bit. So the execution on those opportunities for big plays was not there in the first half. Will it be there in the second half? Philadelphia, they're taking advantage of those opportunities. It was a shot for Tennessee, to be right there in this game, and they find themselves down 7 right now.
Yeah, so Titans need to catch the football. Jordan Matthews did when Wentz put it right out there, and that was the only touchdown of this first half. And for Philadelphia, getting the turnover and adding a quick field goal, they've got a 7-point cushion as they get the football here from inside the end zone, and Smallwood downs it out to the 25. Let's check in again with Laura Oakman.
Hi, Chris. I talked to Doug Peterson and asked him if he was any closer to seeing the identity he was looking for offensively. He said, we're passing the ball great, but we've got to stop with the key drops, and we've got to eliminate the penalties. We'll do much better. What we need to do defensively, didn't hesitate. Shut the run down, make them throw the ball. As for Mike Vrabel, he said, big plays hurt us like they have in the past. We've got to outplay their defense, catch the ball better, run the ball better, play better, coach better. Chris?
Thank you, Laura. We haven't seen, for all that these teams have done, whether it's fake punts or the Phillies special, we haven't seen anything like that yet. We have a half to go. Eagles have only run for 39 yards in this game. The Titans have only run for 24. Wentz on first down completes at the 30 to Alshon Jeffrey.
But again, that is the strength of both of these defenses, the run defense. So I was not surprised at all with both offenses coming out trying to soften that up with some drop back pass, some play action. I think that will be one of the big things here in the second half. Can the Titans get that offense going with the bootlegs and things like that and challenge that defense of Philadelphia?
Wentz over 200 yards passing. Mariota is over 140. Dallas Goedert, the rookie tight end who had a touchdown catch last week, has not been targeted yet. Ertz has 8 catches. Ajayi gets a first down.
It boils down to not how many times you run it, but how effective, how efficient are you when you do run it. And there's an example right there. You come in and you get the first down, you convert on that run.
Ajayi, Smallwood, and Josh Adams are the only running backs that are active today for Philadelphia. Wentz open. Zach Ertz between 3 Titans. He's down to the 40 of Tennessee and a first down.
You go into a game and you've got somebody that's as involved in the game as Zach Ertz has been for Philadelphia, and you say, hey, all right, we're going to play these guys. If we're going to get beat, let's make sure somebody else beats us, and 86 doesn't beat us. And they have not been able to do a really good job this afternoon on containing Zach Ertz.
That's his 9th catch, over 100 receiving yards. Yeah, that's the one guy I would start with this Eagle offense, and I would say, hey, we just can't let him beat us. Kendrick Lewis has come in to play safety for Kenny Vaccaro, who left injured in the second quarter. And again, Wesley Woodyard also out for the Titan defense. Ajayi and a flag as he goes down the sideline. Flag back at the 40. Doug Peterson had mentioned to Laura about penalties.
Holding. offense number 71. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It's on the Jason Peters, the 9-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, there's 71 or 61. Take your pick. I think you could have got either one of them on the hold.
Negated a strong run and great balance from Ajayi that would have given the Eagles another first down. Instead, it's 1st and 20 at the 48 of Tennessee. Sideline. There's Dallas Goedert, his first catch of the game.
Nice breakout game for Dallas Goedert last week. Caught everything that was thrown his way. Number 88 just offset from Jason Peters right there. Just a quick little flat route. Get some extra yards on the run. Going to be interesting to see his role expand during the course of the season. You get him and Zach Ertz on the field. Obviously Joshua Perkins as well. We talked about that 3 tight end set, but in 2 tight ends, I think it's going to be interesting to see Doug Peterson work with those 2 guys.
Second down. There's a nudge there. He tried to go to Goddard and a flag. Kevin Byard.
Pass interference. Defense number 31. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Called against Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, and really, down here in this lower portion right here, and you're in good position. Don't know why Kevin Byard wanted to initiate contact at that point.
Penalty helps the Eagles. Goddard, the rookie from South Dakota State, and of course Wentz from North Dakota State. And I know we're this broadcast on in North Dakota, and those 2 schools played each other, the Bison and the Jackrabbits. You were asking Carson Wentz about it yesterday. They had a little side arrangement, who has to wear what. And look, there's a Wentz fan from North Dakota State.
Yeah, I expect to see Dallas Goedert in some Bison apparel this week.
So away it goes. You never forget your roots. Pressure coming, and he gets rid of it in a crowd. Falling inside. That was Ajayi inside the 25. I don't know how Wentz was even able to get rid of that football.
A good job by Tennessee diagnosing that screen right away. It's one of those quick hit ones where there's not really even a lot of a cell right there. You've got your receiver out of the backfield, Ajayi, just kind of flash at that pass rusher, and you get that downfield real quick.
At the 24-yard line on second down, Smallwood is the back. Remember, Ajayi is playing with a back injury, enduring pain as long as he can through this game. Pressure is picked up for a moment. Wentz holds it and completes. At the 21-yard line, there is Dallas Goedert once again with Byard running with him. And let's check in again with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. So a very special moment here for Adam Vinatieri. He now holds the all-time record for the most field goals with 566, passing Morton Anderson. He's the young age of 45 years old. Chris?
A record-setting moment. Looking at that list of kickers from Gary Anderson to Morton Anderson to Adam Vinatieri. History-making moment. Indianapolis third in the standings at the moment of the AFC South. Titans at the top. 2 wins in the division already. Wentz's throw for Alshon Jeffrey, and oh, what a nice connection for Philadelphia. Jeffrey was well covered, and he just turned back, knew where the ball was, and Malcolm Butler was not with him, and he made the grab.
Well, this is what you miss when Alshon Jeffrey is not in the lineup. Watch this battle. I mean, this is a physical release off the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's doing everything he possibly can. First down. I mean, that's what you miss. I mean, Malcolm Butler's upset. He thinks that Alshon Jeffrey committed offensive pass interference. That was a great battle on the outside. Good job by the officials letting him play.
5th catch of the game for Jeffrey. First and goal, Eagles. Quick pass to Aguilar. Slips a tackle. The ball is out. And think the Titans saved it inbounds and came up with it. And there's a flag. Looked like a member of the Titans had pushed the ball to keep it from rolling out of bounds.
There's no batting on the sideline, though, just on the end line. So I think it's, if he got it back in bounds before it was out of bounds, what a great heads-up play, because that was definitely on its way out of bounds. Inside arm. Brian Orakpo with the swipe right there. Now, is he out of bounds? Oh, he carries it out of bounds.
Yeah, Logan Ryan tried to swipe it. He may have been.
Yeah, he's out of bounds when he makes the recovery, so it's going to remain Philadelphia ball. But what a heads-up play.
There is no foul on the play for batting as the bat was backward. The ball went out of bounds. It was touched. It is Philadelphia's ball. It's a fumble out of bounds.
Yeah, not a
Second
clear.
down.
Yeah, you called it, Darrell. That was not a clear recovery. We have our rules analyst, Dean Blandino, watching with us. Dino, describe this for us.
Great job by the officials on the field. You have a potential bat, but because the defender batted it toward his own goal line, that's legal. You can only get a foul for an illegal bat if you bat it towards your opponent's goal line. So you can see there, he's going to bat it in essence backward. And then the second defender is out of bounds, doesn't reestablish, touches the loose ball. That ball is out of bounds. Basically just a fumble, backward out of bounds. It goes to that spot.
All right, thank you for clarification, as we had one of those earlier that wasn't batted, but the Eagles maintained possession, losing yardage on the lost fumble. Second and goal with the ball spotted. Maybe they're determining exactly where to spot this. Looks like they're putting it at the 13 or 14.
And it's so hard to be a player in that situation. And where are my feet at? Let me check, make sure I'm not out of bounds.
Yeah, you're going
you
for
just
the
see the football with an opportunity for a huge turnover.
And they had a couple of those. Mike Vrabel's defense, only turnover takeaway in this game, an Eagle interception. So at the 15-yard line now, second and goal for the Eagles. Wentz has time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. There's a flag. And eventually a shovel pitch forward to the 10-yard line. Aguilar hauls that in. It's like holding against the Eagles. I was going to say since 2017.
Holding. Offense number 79. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Call on Brandon Brooks. Since 2017, Eagles' highest touchdown percentage in the red zone, 66%. But now this penalty is going to push him out of the red zone.
Yeah, mistakes in the red zone are lethal, and they're, Laura talked to Doug Peterson, coming out at halftime, and he talked about the fact that, we've got to get rid of these penalties, and we saw them last week, double digits, and here they are again in critical points to start this second half, putting themselves in tough positions.
From the 25-yard line, second and goal. Ajayi straight ahead. He picks up 10. And he's still going. A couple more. Here comes a flag on the back end of that play. It's another, at least the indication, holding call.
Holding. Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Kamar Aiken, it looked like late on that play is when they threw the flag on him.
Well, he's caught up in that whole mix right there, and then just he's going down and really just reaches up and grabs a hold of Malcolm Butler and pulls him down. Interesting call right there. Not really an advantage created if that's what the hold was about. But boy, I tell you, Doug Peterson's got to be so frustrated.
Yeah, and it's been that kind of year when you look at the penalties. Eagles, one of the most penalized team in the league, and for the franchise, not a good category to lead in this year. 3 tight ends in. Wentz steps up on the run, and he'll slide at the 15. Here comes the flag. Oh boy, Will Compton looked like he landed when Wentz slid on the Eagle quarterback.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he was defenseless at that time, because it looked like Will Compton went towards the head and neck area. He can hit Carson Wentz when he slides feet first if he's committed outside of that area, but it looked like he came down near the helmet.
There is no foul
good job.
Play. It's third down.
Well, that was wise to pick it up, even though the flag was thrown, and it was one of those bang-bang plays. We have an injured member of the Titans, already down 2 starters in that secondary. Adoree Jackson, who had a concussion last week, is the injured Titan.
There's Adoree Jackson right there in the middle of your screen. Interesting.
We'll check on the injury to Adoree Jackson. Eagles 3rd and goal.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
Darryl Johnston, Chris Myers, producer Fran Morrison, and director Brian Lilly. Eagles have been down here. There's been a series of penalties and advancements and then penalties. Marcus Mariota waiting since the first half. So we're up warming on the Titans sideline. On a 3rd and goal from the 15 of Tennessee. Carson Wentz for the end zone. Alshon Jeffrey makes the catch. Is he in? Yes, he is. Touchdown, Eagles. Wow.
Alshon Jeffrey on the outside right there working against LaShawn Sims. They put Malcolm Butler away from him there in coverage. And we've seen them kind of match up down here as once they got towards the goal line. So good job by Carson Wentz finding that matchup.
He had to go high, and then Darryl had to make sure when he came down that the ball at least crossed the plane or was in the end zone, and that's what they're waiting. It was ruled such to confirm, as all scoring plays are. But remember, thin in the secondary because Adoree Jackson had to come out. Kenny Vaccaro was injured in the first half, and it has been confirmed. On a 3rd and goal from the 15. He has it, and he's in the end zone. Shoved backward, and now for the extra point. Elliott is good. And at one time, 3-0. Tennessee. Now the Eagles are flying high with a 17-3 advantage in the 3rd. On a 3rd and what seemed long when you think 15 yards to the goal line. Alshon Jeffrey with a big catch for the touchdown. Inactive for the first 3 games. Remember, he had the rotator cuff surgery, played through the injury last year. He led the Eagles in touchdown catches last season with 9. He had 3 more in the postseason. And a big target there when the Eagles needed it most to open up this lead. Jennings, who has a touchdown return back in week 1. It's been, 40 minutes since Mariota threw a football. This was last time he did, the interception right before the half.
Yeah. Just sitting on the sidelines waiting for that opportunity, but they had the chance to go down and get points at the end of that first half and had a big turnover there that Philadelphia was able to turn into a field goal attempt.
Could have been a backbreaker, that last play, that last touchdown against a Titan defense, and it hung in there. There were penalties, but the Eagles and Wentz worked through all that and didn't have to settle for 3. Mariota to run and gets out of bounds. Worth mentioning that Blaine Gabbert, who started in his absence, had the concussion, so he's in the protocol. He's inactive today. They signed Austin Davis this week. That kicked around with the Browns and Seattle and the Rams, a few other teams from Southern Miss. He's the backup quarterback for Marcus Mariota today.
But a missed opportunity there. Jonnu Smith and Tajae Sharpe, they have to understand that the design of that play, that had Marcus Mariota in space. A blocker for each guy. That should have been a much bigger play. Had an opportunity there.
It's a block and Springham. Just short of the 35 is Darius Jennings. He's the speed guy on this Tennessee offense. It'll bring up a 3rd and short. After that opening drive, the Eagle defense tighten up on Mariota. And the catch made for a first down. Across midfield and down to the 45. Thrown down. Corey Davis. No flag.
Works into that secondary area. Good job finding the soft spot. That was a huge conversion right there. Or you've got 5 punts and an interception in your last 6 possessions, and Philadelphia's coming back out on the field right now.
Lineman for the Titans having some words with Jenkins after he had that ferocious tackle. But a gain of 20 from the 46. Ball is dropped by Derrick Henry. Nick Williams gets on it, but all the way back at the 42 of Tennessee.
Again, these negative plays are so hard to overcome. Let's see if there's anything with the pitch. Looks like it's in a good spot. Derrick Henry just took his eyes off it before he had it secured. Lucky that Brandon Graham didn't make that recovery. He was right there.
A loss of 12 after that big gain that gave him a first down. 2nd and 22. Lewis is in the backfield. It's a 4-man rush. Lewis has the football and spins out of a tackle, and Lewis down to the 41 of the Eagles.
Nice job by Dion Lewis right there, not giving up on that play, getting some extra yards. Good balance right here, spins out of that tackle attempt by Corey Graham.
Malcolm Jenkins, the other safety, said we demand our corners tackle well from the safety spot. Graham couldn't make that one. 3rd and 5. Blitz coming, picked up, and for a first down, Tajay Sharp. Well, Mariota read that well.
Coming out of the bunch formation up here on the top. The big thing is Philadelphia trying to add to the rush right there, and they get somebody turned loose on that release.
Pickup of 16 yards, and Marcus Mariota is over 200 yards passing today.
180!
Mariota has it after a great fake. Mills was all over Corey Davis, and there is a flag. Boy, Mariota waited for that to develop.
Pass interference. Defense number 31. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Watch right at the top on the break, back to the outside, gets spun around, a little stumble there, and you see a little bit of contact. We've seen worse this afternoon. That was not called.
So it's the first time the Titans are in the red zone today, and Mariota has never thrown a red zone interception in the NFL. Derrick Henry, after that penalty of 20 yards, sets him up at 2nd and goal. Well, I guess you have to worry if you're the Eagle defense, as good as you are against the run. Worry about Mariota running here.
Yeah, but the big thing so far on this drive is really the response, and it was one of the things that Mike Vrabel has talked to his guys about. Listen, don't worry about the situation that happens during the game, during the season. The response is is the most important thing by us. Nice job by this offense of the Titans responding to that scoring drive by the Eagles to see if they can finish it with a touchdown here.
Mariota has it. He's headed to the end zone. It's going to be a touchdown, Titans. Marcus Mariota. responded.
It's just so hard to account for the athletic quarterback in the red zone. They've got everything covered. Philadelphia does a nice job. Look at the coverage there. Marcus Mariota really has nowhere to go with the football. You can see him scanning everything, looking, not making the mistake, Chris, you pointed out. He does not have an interception in the red zone. Pulls it down, carries it in himself.
10th rushing touchdown in the career of Mariota. And with the extra point, he'll get his team to within 7. Suckup is good. And Mariota takes it himself to answer after the Eagles score a touchdown. It's a 7-point game in the third quarter.
It's sponsored by the well-connected 2019 MKC and by Burger King. Mix and match 2 of your favorites, including all new crispy chicken tenders for just $6.
And it's been 10+ quarters before Mariota and the Titans score a touchdown. A number of drives as well adding up as they respond to the Eagles touchdown pass on third. Mariota runs it in.
And a nice job overcoming that big negative play on that fumbled toss by Derrick Henry.
Wendell Smallwood will let this go. Both of these quarterbacks were drafted 2nd overall, a year apart. And you look at their numbers today, and both, obviously, Carson Wentz coming off that injury from last year, and Mariota the injury from week 1.
Yeah, still battling through some stuff. Just that one pass there at the end of the first half. Don't know if it just sailed on him or just didn't see the play develop cleanly. But his one mistake there so far this afternoon. But a nice afternoon. Good to see him throwing the football the way he is.
And you can see the confidence in the Titans team responding around the quarterback. Eagles from the 25. Each team has run for 32 yards. 32 yards each on the ground today. That's it. Ajayi has to fight to get a few yards there. And there's the whistle as he gets shoved back.
And 32 yards per team and 32 really, really tough yards down inside there. It's been physical in the running game.
Adoree Jackson has come back out. I mentioned the quarterbacks. You know, when you compare their careers, of course, one in his 4th year, one in his 3rd, and Wentz's team went on to the Super Bowl. But the performance in the playoffs last year by Mariota, that upset over Kansas City, raised a lot of eyebrows. His performance. Trying to get their 3rd win of the season. Wentz. Aguilar with a shove for a first down. Good work over there to get up to the 36-yard line. And when you look at the numbers over their career, you figure, oh, Wentz had a lot better numbers. But that quarterback rating, look how close that is.
Yeah, I mean, you're less than a point.
And both very mobile. Obviously, Mariota runs more by design. Franchise quarterbacks that their teammates are counting on. Plenty of room to run for Wentz. And his tackle, closing speed, where he would have had a lot more by Harold Landry, the rookie from Boston College.
Oh, I tell you, that's a heck of a play by Harold Landry because there's nobody out here. Watch everything kind of get pushed to the left side. As they run their stunts and twists, everything gets moved to the left. Look at Harold Landry spins out. There's nobody in front of Carson Wentz. They had guys with their backs turned. There was a lot of room for Carson to run.
He had another 10 or 15 yards and what could have easily gone out of bounds. Just a little extra hesitation. He still picked up 2. Third quarter winding down. Need to get to the 46. Blitz coming, and Ajayi has it, and he's going to get the first down and go down on the other side of the 50 into Tennessee territory.
It just seems like Doug Peterson has that play called into that blitz, the perfect play called. You've got pressure from the right, dropping in an extra rusher from the secondary, from your offense's right side. He's got a screen called out the back door on the left side. Just a great play call at that time.
Wentz over 290 yards passing. And Ajayi getting the first down as the third quarter comes to an end. Each team reaching the end zone. Eagles with the football and a 17-10 advantage, sweating it out here in Nashville. With Laura Oakman down on the field, Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, nice to have you with us from Nashville, Tennessee. Start of the fourth quarter. Mike Vrabel said we have to get better with details. Doug Peterson said I need to shape the identity of this offense a little better. 7-point Eagles lead, and they have the football. On first down, Wentz under pressure and sacked inside the 40. Jan Brown, who came in for Wesley Woodyard when he was injured in the opening quarter.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. He's one of those guys that you can move around to the inside, and here they are. They're just stand-up guys. Rakpo on the other side. They just do a nice job. You've got to be sure in your count, and we've seen a number of times today with free rushers to Carson Wentz.
There's a little slip there on the right knee. Of course, that brace is on the left knee, but that didn't keep Brown from getting to him, and there were 2 or 3 other Titans on their way to the quarterback. After a loss of 10, that's the third sack by the Titans defense. Wentz steps up in the pocket, goes underneath, and that's dropped. Jordan Matthews, who had a touchdown catch, couldn't hold that one.
I just didn't secure the catch before he decided to run. It's a little bit low, but a catch that Jordan Matthews is fully capable of making.
Ball's out. That's a fumble, and the Titans are on it. Knocked loose. Derek Morgan recovers.
Harold Landry with a couple of big plays on that series right before we had that switch to the fourth quarter. He had that great hustle play to come out of that pass rush and stop Carson Wentz, who had a lot of open field in front of him. And then he gets a sack force fumble right here.
The hit, the loose ball. Derek Morgan recovers. The Titans take over at the Eagle 35.
Today's game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface.
Titans take over. Last time they had the football, they went 75 yards, and Mariota ran it in.
Watch it! Hey, no, 77! 77! 77!
I thought he was calling out Michael Bennett, number 77. Catch made. And the whistle blown on Taylor.
And we've shown the comparison of the two quarterbacks. I think one of the areas also, their ability at the line of scrimmage, their knowledge of the playbook, to have full disposal of that playbook at the line of scrimmage. You come out, I guarantee you that was a run. You kind of lined up in a too tight physical run formation. Philadelphia squeezed it in, brought some big bodies, and Marcus Mariota got out of it, took a quick throw to the outside for some positive yards.
And Wentz, 9th time that Carson Wentz has been sacked since he's come back in these last 2 games. Good first down pickup, pressure coming, dumps it off. Dion Lewis, another spin, but he spun around into the ground. Malcolm Jenkins made sure he didn't get loose around the 26 of Philly. Eagles, one of the surest tackling teams coming in fact tied for second. It's a loose stat by Sports Radar, but tied for second fewest missed tackles in the league.
Great job last week after turnovers by the Eagles offense. Carson Wentz, a pick and a fumble. The defense able to force field goals last week against the Colts. Can they do the same thing here on this drive by the Titans?
3rd and a yard. Lewis. It's crowded in there for a guy who's only 5'8".
It's going to be 4th down. This is going to be a big decision here.
Looks like they're
for Mike Vrabel.
Go for it. Unless they're going to try to draw them off sides here. Let's see. We have an injured player. Fletcher Cox is slow to get up for the Eagles.
Well, this could be an advantage for the Titans. You got an opportunity right now to kind of get together, figure out exactly what you want to do here in this situation. Get a good idea what your distance is. Looks like they actually lost a little bit of yardage there on that 3rd down. Looks like it's a little bit longer, more closer to almost a full yard here.
Cox wearing a brace of sorts on that right arm, but he's reaching for his leg.
Gosh, as much as he plays, you wonder if it's just some cramping. I mean, it's warm out here today. He's been logging a bunch of snaps through the first 3 weeks of the season. He's not part of that rotation you talked about earlier on.
He's a starter who doesn't leave. You go to the bullpen when you want, but he's part of it. I think it's all right heading over there, we hope. And they're lining up to go for it on 4th down. Passing up what would be a 44-yard field goal try, but they're down 7. You got a quarterback who can run. Mariota keeps and flips for the first down to Dion Lewis. Boy, he had Jenkins and Bradham. They were there to tackle him, to keep him from running for it. But he knew where to throw it.
This is such a good play by Marcus Mariota. Watch at the last second, the decision. You think he's going to tuck it and go for it. He knows he can't. He stands up. He knows he's. I don't know how he avoided the contact right there. What a great job. And here's an example of what Logan Ryan said. The perfect fit at the quarterback position for this gritty team of the Tennessee Titans.
Both Henry and Lewis now in the backfield at the Eagle 15. There was never any hesitation for Mike Vrabel to go on 4th and a yard. Inside handoff to Henry. Gets down around the 11-yard line.
I'm thinking with Fletcher Cox out of the lineup on that 4th and short, let's pound it right where Fletcher Cox used to be. And they get out on the edge with a run-pass option for Marcus Mariota.
And Fletcher Cox has come back in. 3-time Pro Bowler, again having a terrific season for this Eagle defense. Already 3 sacks. Who gets it? Henry, Lewis. There's Dion Lewis sprinting out. They fake to him. They throw to Henry. And the Eagles are there. Excellent play coming up from his safety spot is Corey Graham.
Negative plays in the red zone. Great job by Corey Graham, kind of sorting through all that. You got, as you pointed out, Dion Lewis, sprints to the defensive left, and he hangs in there, does his job, and is able to find that screen to Derrick Henry.
Top red zone defense. Eagles are outstanding. League's top defense against the run. But after losing yardage, 3rd and a dozen. Lewis is a receiver, top of your screen. Empty backfield. Eagles blitz. The throw is to Lewis, but he can't go very far. And that's a big stop for this Eagle defense after the Titans were able to convert on the previous 4th and short. So the field goal unit trots out.
And one of the big reasons why the Philadelphia Eagles are 2-1 right now is because of the red zone defense that this team has played through the first 3 weeks of the season.
33-yard attempt for Ryan Suckup. He made earlier from 42. It's up and through. And it's now a 4-point game Just over 9 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Eagle defense forces the Titans to settle for 3. Marcus Mariota, the Titans scored on their first drive and now on their last 2. Only 1 touchdown, though, produced, and that was Mariota keeping it himself. Taylor Lewan, the entertaining left tackle, 2-time Pro Bowler for the Titans, looking on. Titans have closed the gap, 17-13. Another touchback out to the 25-yard line. Saturday, huge day of college football on Fox. Red River Showdown with Texas and Oklahoma, and then Indiana going up against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coverage at 11 Eastern on Fox and always on the Fox Sports app. Mike Vrabel hoping his defense, they had the takeaway, which set up that last scoring opportunity. In fact, the Eagles have fumbled 3 times in this game. They've only lost 1 of them. And it was Zach Ertz who told us that we are a strong finishing offense. They have the ball with over 9 to go in the fourth and the lead. Ajayi for a couple of yards. Let's get a game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Falcons and Bengals have been going back and forth all day long. I don't know if this is back or forth, whatever it is. It's the second touchdown of the day for Calvin Ridley from Matt Ryan. Falcons going for 2 right now, leading it 33-28 very early in the fourth quarter in what has been an entertaining game. Chris and Moose.
Thank you. A lot of points there and not so many here. And the Falcons next Sunday, big game in Pittsburgh against the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. You talk about offensive headliners. Brandon Brooks and Jay Ajayi, in fact, they collided. And both have gone over to the Eagles sideline, so they're not in on this play. Isaac Seumalo has come in at that guard spot after no gain. Smallwood, the back. Wentz underneath to Nelson Agholor. Was out of bounds around the 30. And Dory Jackson had come back in on the previous series. Ran him down. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
And this is one of the areas where we've talked about that timing, that chemistry starting to grow for Philadelphia's offense. You get into the situational parts of the game, 3rd down, red zone. That was the one area that Carson Wentz excelled at last season. Haven't gotten to that level yet so far this year.
Brandon Brooks has come back in at the guard spot. Wentz for Nelson Agholor. Dropped. 4th down. He was going to need to run with it to get the 1st down.
But you've got your inside guys in the bunch kind of clearing. It's a design play. You can see actually Joshua Perkins kind of in a blocking position. It's one of those little screens underneath. But how many times have we seen guys today not secure possession before they start to turn upfield?
At least 3 drops for each team today. Nick Williams standing back at the Tennessee 20. So the Titans defense did what it had to do. The offense will have an opportunity here as the ball bounces in the air. Williams at the 25 and is knocked down right away. Got your boots on, buckle up. This could be an exciting finish here in Nashville. Mike Vrabel trying to stage another upset here. Titans have the football inside their own 25. Corey Davis, who had 4 catches in the first half, has none in the second half. There's an attempt by Mariota going deep for Davis, who's got it inside the 25.
Very impressive, Chris Myers. He should be a defensive coordinator.
You've taught me
Hey,
well.
somebody look at 84. He hasn't had a catch yet this half.
Your scouting reports are quite helpful.
On the outside, I didn't know if you were going to be able to get back to this play. They had a shot like this in the first half, and they missed it. They overthrew it. Marcus Mariota a little bit too deep on that one. He is perfect on this one. A little bit tighter coverage, so the ability to get back to a big play that they drew up and missed in the first half.
51 yards. That's the longest offensive play from scrimmage. They had a fake punt that produced a touchdown from longer, but 51 yards, Mariota to run. And he's breaking tackles to the 16-yard line of the Eagles.
And it's not just been his running, but just the movement of the pocket on that long throw to Corey Davis, the ability to have play action and get him on the perimeter, get him outside that pocket and frustrate that rush. It's one of the things that Jim Schwartz was concerned about because the style of quarterback they played the first 3 weeks. They haven't seen anybody with the athleticism of Marcus Mariota.
And he now has 1,000 rushing yards in his NFL career. He came in with a 6-yard average, among the best for active quarterbacks, 6 yards per carry. Got 8 there. The pitch. Taylor has got a first down, gliding inside the 10. They want Taylor on the receiver sweep.
This is a nice job by Nigel Bradham, fighting through a block on the outside by Luke Stalker, because if Luke gets him pinned to the inside, this is a touchdown. There's Nigel Bradham fighting through that block right there, able to make the tackle.
First and goal spotted at the 9-yard line. Titans led early, 3-0. Eagles took charge, built a 14-point lead. It's down to 4. Henry will lose yardage. Negative in the red zone.
Well, not only in the red zone, but it was something that Malcolm Jenkins said. You know, they drill this. You know, we don't want 2nd and 8. We want 2nd and 12. You know, they're trying to create these negative plays. So great penetration and great fills by the linebackers. Great support by the secondary guys.
Just over 5 minutes to play from the 11-yard line. It's now 2nd and goal. Mariota for the end zone. Touchdown, Titans! Tajae Sharpe. Bowling for touchdowns in Tennessee.
Really nice route by Tajae Sharpe. There he is in the middle right here. Watch him press. He's going to press Sidney Jones to the outside and then break back to the inside. A little bit heavy, weight forward. Gets that separation, wide open for the touchdown catch.
An impressive drive. 75 yards in less than 3 minutes. And Sharpe with the touchdown catch. Mariota has run for 1 and thrown for 1. And now Ryan Succop to give the Titans a 3-point lead. He's been on point with everything today. And he is again. The Titans involved in another close game, leading by 3 in Nashville. Line them up, knock them down.
This game is sponsored by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Marcus Mariota, how do you bounce back after throwing a costly interception before the half? Well, you do this. And the Titans have scored 17 straight points against one of the best defenses in the league, and now have the lead at home here in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes to go. Touchback out to the 25. We'll see what Carson Wentz can do.
And just going back to the way that Marcus Mariota has played since that interception. Again, the response that Coach Vrabel wanted to see from his team, from each side, offense and defense, it goes down to the individual as well. So the response by Marcus Mariota after throwing that costly interception end of the first half. Great job by him here in the second half.
Mariota with a touchdown run and toss nearing the 300-yard mark. He's also the leading rusher for the Titans with 22 yards on the ground. And Wentz has a couple of touchdown passes. Eagles down 3. Pressure coming. Ball floated incomplete. Smallwood in the area. The heat was on Carson Wentz.
And this has been a situation that's gone on all day long, and it's not just been the front four, it's been guys from different places. There's Malcolm Butler off the edge. Right up the middle, Sharif Finch. They've been coming linebackers, secondary players, the defensive line. This offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles has struggled today with this multiple defense that Dean Pease puts out there.
They're coming from Opryland, from the Gulch. They're coming from all over. Wentz has it with time, and open is Smallwood, who fights to get across the 35. That was a big extra effort there because that was enough to get the first down.
That's a great job by Wendell Smallwood. And again, it's a guy that we saw last week with all those yards after contact. He's much more physical than you would think by his stature.
Zach Ertz with 9 catches. Haven't heard much from him lately. For Wentz, his 9th 300-yard passing game in his career. Wendell Smallwood carries. Time for another game break, and Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. So the Lions down by 6 in Dallas when Matthew Stafford finds his #1 target, Golden Tate, for this 38-yard touchdown. Golden Tate's second of the day. Lions up 24-23 with just over 2 minutes to play. Chris?
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. Updating all those games. The Patriots crushing the Dolphins. Atlanta winning at home against Cincinnati. Houston up on Indianapolis. Smallwood straight ahead. Just short of the 43-yard line of the Eagles. Third down.
I would stay with Wendell Smallwood right now in these situations. I think he offers you a little bit more opportunity with what you can do from a play calling standpoint. And because he's run physical, he's similar to Jay Ajayi right now.
Doug Peterson thinks 4th down, but he thinks about it on 2nd and 3rd down. Where you are here, is this a little too early to be worrying about that?
Oh, he's thinking about it. You know him. You know how aggressive he is. He's probably got something in mind if they get to a point where he feels comfortable going for it on 4th.
Wentz, incomplete. Byard was on Ertz.
Now you've got all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So yeah, the big question in there is you're going to be able to stop this clock a number of different ways. So here comes the punt unit out on the field.
And I saw the chin strap quickly pulled off underneath the helmet of Wentz. He was frustrated. I don't know if the result here or if he wanted to go somewhere else, but no gamble from Doug Peterson here on 4th and 4, at least the way it looks at the moment as they line up to punt. Adoree Jackson is back at the 10 for the Titans. It's another booming kick. He lets it go, and it goes into the end zone, and a break for the Titans. It'll come all the way out to the 20. Thursday, a huge early season matchup with Andrew Luck and the Colts going to New England to take on Tom Brady and the Patriots. 7:30 Eastern on Fox, NFL Network, and always streaming on Prime Video. Speaking of Brady, you know, Mike Vrabel, for his years in New England, it often comes up when he's talking to his quarterback Mariota about, well, Brady did that. You know, he'll explain certain defenses to help Marcus Mariota out, but he also throws in some of the things that Brady did well to lead his team. References that Mariota can take and run with. This is one here, hanging on to a lead, a tight one. Mariota keeps and goes down at the 21-yard line. Bradham making the tackle. So with those timeouts and the 2-minute warning, I guess Doug is saying my defense can do this for me.
Yeah, turn it over to your defense. See what they can do. And right now, offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur can't get conservative. He's called a nice game. Mike Vrabel told us about it with the game on the line. Matt LaFleur has been fantastic with his play calling when we've had injuries to quarterback, tackles. Just an outstanding job. Continue to do that here. Don't get ultra conservative.
Titans offensive coordinator LaFleur learned under Kyle Shanahan and Ram head coach Sean McVay. Fast track for a head coaching job one day. Has to call the right plays for his quarterback here. Quick pass. Corey Davis falls forward to take us to the 2-minute warning. Titans have the football. Eagles defense hoping for a stop. This game is up for grabs with under 2 minutes to play.
Today's game is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order.
This is what Carson Wentz and Marcus Mariota have done today. It's only a 3-point difference, but Mariota facing a 3rd and 3. And if they convert, the Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts, but there won't be a lot left, even if they use them and stop them the next time around. Quick pass to Corey Davis. He is not going to get the first down. That was crowded, and the Eagles were on that in a heartbeat. Quick timeout used by the Eagles. They'll have 1 remaining. We'll continue here in 30 seconds. That's a major defensive stop by the Eagles. You wonder, too, maybe why Mariota didn't try something where he could roll out or use his legs.
Well, I like that play call last week against Jacksonville. 3rd and 1 situation, the zone read that gives you the option. He pulls it and has a big run to seal that game last week.
DeAndre Carter is back. And backpedaling at the 20 of the Eagles. He's got room up the sideline. Carter runs into the punter at the 40. All the way back to the Tennessee 40-yard line.
How about that? That's a concern coming into the game. Darren Sproles is out of the lineup. Corey Clement is out of the lineup. So, hey, what are you going to do at punt returner? Well, we'll put DeAndre Carter back there. He maybe makes the biggest play of the game. You cannot lose contain as the forcer down the field. You cannot allow the punt returner to get to the sideline. You're supposed to turn him in to your teammates.
And Kern may have saved it. A return of 40-plus yards. Carter, back to the active roster today, played in the first 2 games, was waived before the Colts game, and then brought back. He's bounced around with New England and Oakland and San Francisco. And fighting to make a roster for Doug Peterson, and he makes, as you said, a play that sets the Eagles up at the 39 of Tennessee.
And right now you've got Kendrick Lewis talking to the coaches right now. I don't know if he's just getting some hydration there on the sideline or if he's got an issue, but remember, we lost Kenny Vaccaro earlier, so Kendrick Lewis has come in that spot.
Titans might be forced to use a timeout. And the Eagles in terrific situation, terrific spot here at the 39. They need a 3 to tie and a touchdown to win. What do you expect Carson Wentz to do here? How safe will they play this?
Well, you just got to be smart right now. I love the way that Doug managed that last position. We always talk about how aggressive he is with his 4th downs. It's also knowing when not to go it on 4th down. His defense rewarded him, got him the ball back. Great special teams play. Here we go with an opportunity to win the game in regulation or force overtime.
Wentz gets rid of it in a hurry. Oh, what a good catch. Reaching back behind to haul it in was Zach Ertz on the throw from Carson Wentz. Inside the 35-yard line.
This play is under review.
So under 2 minutes, they want to make sure the catch was made. It's a booth review, official review. And we'll take a closer look here.
There's Zach Ertz, and we've talked about it all day. Critical situations, that's where I want to go. Just turn around real quick Does he establish possession? Now remember, there's the adjustment this year. You can have movement when it goes to the ground as long as you don't lose possession. So sure looks like he's got it secured. I don't think there's enough there to change it.
Our rules analyst Dean Blandino agrees with you, Daryl. He's watching and says there's not enough to change this, that it should stand. Officials just want to make sure. It's why we have the replay. And if this catch is good, it gets the Eagles a little bit closer on a field goal try if they end up having to do that. Right now it's in the range of 52 yards. Fingertip grab by Ertz, his 10th catch of the game if it stands. Titans led early, 3-0. Defense was tough. Carson Wentz a couple of touchdowns, built a 14-point lead. Quickly Mariota answered. Titans score 17 straight points.
Ruling on the field stands. It's a completed pass. Second down.
But a backbreaker on a punt return from DeAndre Carter. And now the catch is confirmed by Ertz on 2nd down 5. Jay Ajayi is back in at running back. Wentz to Alshon Jeffrey with a block from Aguilar. Straight ahead, Jeffrey inside the 20 of Tennessee on a well-designed, well-executed play.
They really put Kevin Byard in a tough spot. You know, they motion inside with Alshon Jeffrey, get him in the back of that bunch. And then watch the tough spot that they put. Here he is on the back, number 17. But watch 31, Kevin Byard. He comes over the top. He's right there. And now Alshon Jeffrey goes right back to where he vacated.
And the injured player is Kendrick Lewis, who you were talking about moments ago, in an already thin safety area for the Titans. He's down at the 23-yard line. And a timeout, Tennessee. Each team will have 2 remaining, just over a minute to play. Zach Ertz, 7th game with 10 catches or more. 2nd time this year he's done it.
And Mike Vrabel is going to be really frustrated with his defensive guys, because when you have somebody that's a go-to guy in an offense, the one thing you don't want to do is allow that guy to be the difference maker in the game. And Zach Ertz has kind of done that this afternoon. You want to force the supporting cast to beat you. You know, make Kamar Aiken step up, make Shelton Gibson step up, one of the other guys, but don't let number 86 have an afternoon like he had today. 10 catches, 112 yards.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey stepped up in his first game of the season. 7 catches, over 90 yards, including a touchdown. A big touchdown on 3rd down and 15. Wentz for the end zone. And Alshon Jeffrey incomplete. Logan Ryan on the coverage.
Yeah, he's just very comfortable in that situation where it's tight coverage of giving Alshon Jeffrey an opportunity to make a play. Logan Ryan's in good steps, step for step. Really like that again, letting them play on the outside. Both of them competing for that ball.
Ryan 5'11", Jeffrey 6'3", height advantage there. Jordan Matthews goes out to the right, top of your screen. He has a touchdown catch today. Wendell Smallwood the back. Wentz catch made. Smallwood fights to get to the 11-yard line. Clock running at the moment. Peterson calling the plays with Laura Oakman on the field. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers here in the booth. Glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Titans led early. Eagles came back. Titans got 17 straight points. Eagles trying to win or tie with 26 seconds to go and counting. And overthrow in the end zone on 3rd and 3. those who watch the Cowboys and the Lions, we welcome you to Nashville. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, and crew. And after 17 unanswered points by Tennessee to build the lead, a punt return set up the Eagles against Mike Vrabel's team. The defense toughened, so now a game-tying attempt on a field goal of 30 yards from Jake Elliott. He hit from 27 earlier today. And the kick is good. 16 seconds remain. As I mentioned earlier, the last 3 wins by the Eagles have either been on Hail Marys or, as you saw in that Falcon game, a last attempt pass. Elliott clutch when he needed to be. But the Eagles really were in excellent position to get into the end zone. And the Titan defense did what they had to do to keep them out.
Good response. Again, we keep using that word. Mike Vrabel really wants to see how his team responds in these different types of situations, and you give up a huge punt return. I mean, just a cardinal sin. You allow the guy to get outside, you're contained, and you get a 40-yard punt return late in the game to give your offense excellent field position with an opportunity to score and win. And that defense comes out and forces the field goal.
Well, Zach Ertz said we're used to getting everybody's best shot since we won the Super Bowl. We used to use that against other teams on our way, working ourselves to the top of the NFL. The underdog Titans at home going for their 3rd win of the year, as are the Eagles, tied with 16 seconds to play. Nick Williams back to receive the kick. Darius Jennings, for the Titans, who does have a kickoff return for a touchdown. That happened in week 1 against the Dolphins. Jennings can fly. Elliott will kick that through the end zone. Show you how the Cowboys won. Let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. So they were down by 1 late in the 4th, 2nd and long, and Dak Prescott all day long to Ezekiel Elliott. This one for a 34-yard gain. So they're down by 1. Brett Maher, he's got your game-winning field goal, 38 yards. Cowboys win 26-24. They're now 2-2. Chris?
Maybe one of the more controversial decisions in Dallas was Dan Bailey moving on from Dan Bailey and going to Brett Maher. So his first opportunity to win a game. Congratulations to Brett Maher.
And Bailey has found a job with Minnesota and done well. So the Titans are going to let this go for overtime. Well, the Titans in the season opener down in Miami, they already played the longest game in the history of the NFL with weather delays. So this should be a breeze for them.
The longest game to open. Then they go to Houston with their 4th and 5th tackles starting against that Houston defense. Only give up 1 sack. Then their quarterback situation with Marcus Mariota coming out of that Miami game, not starting week 2, coming in off the bench last week against Jacksonville. I mean, it has been such a challenging start to this season, yet they always seem to find a way to get into this position to give themselves a chance to win.
Another 1-score game the Titans involved in. Wentz in the last couple of games since coming back, he's toughed it out. Does have a couple of touchdown passes. Mariota, the response though, when it looked like the Super Bowl champion Eagles would pull away.
Score. Each team will have 2 timeouts. All reviews will be initiated from the booth. If after the end of the 10-minute overtime period the score is tied, the game is over. Philadelphia, it's your call. What's your call? Heads. He's called heads. It is a heads. You've won the toss. You'd like to receive. Tennessee.
Week 4, we've already had 2 games this year end in ties. We'll see what the Eagles and Titans do. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, just a quick recap of the rules. You heard the officiating crew go over those. The key, offense has to either get a touchdown or if there's a defensive score, then it's over. Otherwise, if there's 3, we play on, or at least you have a chance to match that. And we could still end up tied. Carson Wentz will have the first crack at it. Ryan Suckup. And Wendell Smallwood standing back at the Philadelphia goal line. And on a line, he'll let it go out to the 25-yard line. Something else worth bringing up, Daryl, is for this tomorrow we hit the month of October. It's exceedingly warm, temperature in the 80s, humid, out in the sun especially. So the wear and tear on those guys that have played a lot of snaps could come into play here.
Yeah, and you've got the groups that just finished up, in regulation. Short drive there after the punt return, but these guys were just out there. Is that a plus or a minus? A minus for the defense of the Tennessee Titans. A positive for Philadelphia because were able to get into a little bit of rhythm there. They haven't sat too long.
Ajayi, some tough yards, taking people with him as he goes up across the 30. Last Eagles overtime was at Dallas in 2016, and for the Tennessee Titans, 2-0 in overtime since 2015. A strong gain of 7 yards to start this drive in overtime. Ajayi gets a first down. Now a flag comes in as he pushed his way across the 40.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is a first down.
Titans thought they may have seen a holdback there pointing, but the flag is picked up. It's a first down.
And it seems like it was Jason Kelsey, 62, who was part of that conversation. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I think sometimes you see a guy go to the ground, and if you haven't seen that whole play, you have a tendency to think it was holding. He was saying that he pushed the linebacker as he went through to the ground. He did not hold him and pull him to the ground.
Carson Wentz to throw and completes. Alshon Jeffrey inside the 45. His 8th catch of this game. He had a touchdown on a lengthy 3rd and goal. Don't forget to stay with Fox for the State Farm postgame show. All the highlights of the Cowboy win, that crazy Cincinnati-Atlanta game, Packers at home, and of course the Bears beating up on the Buccaneers. A gain of 14. Smallwood slips some tackles, and there goes Wendell Smallwood. Another first down. Inside the 35 of Tennessee.
We've talked about how good both of these defenses are against the run, but Philadelphia has come out here with the game on the line and done a really nice job of running the football. You mentioned 9 sacks in their last 2 games, so struggling a little bit with protection this afternoon, leaning on the run game here to start overtime, and it's been productive.
Corey Clement, Darren Sproles inactive today for the Eagles, but glad to have Ajayi back, and Smallwood running tough when they've called upon him. Straight ahead, Smallwood flag down as he gets down around the 15. Ajayi carried as the flag was back at the 31.
Offside. Defense number 99 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Eagles over 400 total yards and over 100 yards now rushing.
That's impressive, and what they've done here at the beginning of overtime, and maybe it is the fatigue that you talked about, Chris. You know, the long game to start the season, it just kind of wears on you here through the first month. Philadelphia much more efficient with their run game here in overtime than during the course of the game.
Ajayi gets knocked down right away. Remember playing with that Jarrell Casey on the tackle with that broken bone in his back. Missing the game last week. One pass attempt on this opening overtime drive by Carson Wentz. They've been able to advance it on the ground, but lost yardage there. So it's second down 12 from inside the 20. In range of a Jake Elliott field goal. Right now it'd be 37 yards. A touchdown wins it. Wentz, incomplete. It's third down. Nelson Aguilar the target.
Nice job by this Tennessee defense, kind of finding their footing right as you get into the red zone.
Wentz nearing 350 yards passing through the air. Wentz's throw is almost intercepted. Will Compton had his hands on it. He's trying to get the ball to Zach Ertz.
And we showed you Zach's numbers during the course of this afternoon. Tries to lull Will Compton to sleep coming out of that break. A little soft. Good job undercutting it. Will Compton frustrated that he didn't make that interception.
Jake Elliott to line up for a field goal. Second year from Memphis to give the Eagles the lead here in Tennessee in overtime. 37-yard try. He's been on the money today. This is up and through, and the Eagles lead in OT. Titans have a chance with the football. They'll have one chance, trailing by 3 in this extra period. With Laura Oakman and Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers in Nashville. We welcome those of you tuning in from other games. Overtime here. Eagles needed a late field goal to force the OT. And on the first possession of overtime, they drove 56 yards. 37-yard field goal gives them the lead. The Titans will have a chance now. A touchdown, Tennessee wins it. A field goal, we keep playing. If they get stopped and get nothing, Eagles win. Elliott, who's been money for Darius Jennings, who will down it. And Mariota brings his team out to the 25-yard line.
Well, some concerns about how he was going to be able to get the ball down the field coming back from that injury in week 1. Has made tremendous progress from last week, and it was not an issue today. He's been really, really good down the field. And again, there's the one thing that Philadelphia was concerned with, the athleticism at that quarterback position.
A key run for a touchdown. He's thrown for a touchdown. 17 unanswered points for the Titans. Gave them the lead late before the Eagles tied it. Mariota will keep and head to the sideline. Was out of bounds across the 31-32 yard line of Tennessee. He's run for over 1,000 yards in his career after running for 25-30 yards today.
Well, I tell you, great job by Philadelphia in coverage, because Marcus Mariota is looking to throw that ball as he's climbing the pocket and even moving out to the right, and then at the last second decides to tuck it and get as much as he can. But great job sticking with your coverage in the secondary for the Eagles.
And a recap, this is Mariota's first start since the opening Sunday. He rallied his team coming off the bench last week, but Blaine Gabbert inactive. Corey Davis close enough to get a first down and go out of bounds across the 35.
It's kind of funny, during the early part of the game we were going backwards. We were playing really between the 10 and the 10, with special teams and the offenses, flipping field position, and neither offense really able to punch it in. Now the offense is here late in the game in the fourth quarter, late third really into the fourth, have really kind of taken over on each side.
That might be, and you played the game, the fatigue you're talking about, a little wear and tear. Everybody gets tired, but the defense is doing the chasing. Dion Lewis in the backfield, and now he steps up into the slot for Mariota. Arrogant out deep down the middle. Incomplete. He had the speedster Jennings.
Well, we've had a couple of huge drops today, but none bigger than this one right here. Coming out of the slot inside. You get these drawn up, you're not going to get another chance. He just runs right through coverage. Corey Graham down too far. Ronald Darby late getting there. Oh, what a huge drop.
He had a second opportunity to gather that in. Now it's 2nd and 10. Mariota knows they missed one. Knocked away. Malcolm Jenkins, excellent coverage. Jonnu Smith, the tight end, was where Mariota was trying to go with the football.
Yeah, kind of lucky here. Watch 81 as he releases. Tight coverage by Malcolm Jenkins. He's underneath him right now.
An interception would seal it for the Eagles, as does any kind of stop. A touchdown wins it for the Titans. Mariota had 15 straight passes before that big drop. From the pocket, he's on the move. Sideline throw for Davis, too high. And now it's 4th down and 10.
Nice job by that front of Philadelphia here. The last 2 plays, just the 4 guys getting Marcus Mariota off the spot, forcing him to throw on the move.
Surprised that Mariota hadn't tried to run more earlier in this series just to move the chains, because this is the ball game. An Eagles stop is an Eagles win. Each team has had a possession. We have a timeout, and the Titans call it. Each team gets 2 timeouts in the overtime period.
And Mike Vrabel talks to his guys about responding to certain situations during the game. Are they going to be able to respond to that big drop earlier in this drive? I mean, just it was unbelievable. Darius Jennings has got the opportunity to make a play on the ball where they've got a chance to get a touchdown and win this game in overtime. And it's been the situation all afternoon.
It started. That was a tough play, but Davis could have had it. This was an easy one to the tight end.
Now that cost you the opportunity for a touchdown.
And moments ago, Jennings, who was inside the 20 of the Eagles, had he held on. Now the Eagles have had a few drops themselves. But 4th down and 10. Need to get to the 46-yard line.
Before the snap. False start. Offense number 64. It's a 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's on the right guard, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Tennessee. And the surprising Titans, led by Mike Vrabel, Doug Peterson's team, he's used to late game drama. Had to hold off the Falcons on a last gap pass to start the season. A Hail Mary from the Colts last week. A Hail Mary at the end of the Super Bowl as the Eagles won it against the Patriots. Mariota's throw. Catch me! Taywan Taylor, and Tennessee lives. It's 1st down Titans.
Wow.
He made that look easy.
Just a simple curl route. He gets in behind Corey Graham. You know, that's a safety kind of playing that corner position. And he doesn't get enough width on that throw. Allows that throwing angle to the outside.
Despite the penalty, they pick up 19 yards. 4:45 to go in overtime. Derrick Henry stiff arming his way down to the 43 of the Eagles.
Great physical run here by Derrick Henry. Yeah, this is a this is a handful trying to bring this guy down. He bounces back to the outside, and there's Ronald Darby trying to come up, and there's just a little bit of a get out of my way. Good job securing the possession right there, because if you got their pursuit from the inside out coming, watch the Eagles attack the football, make sure he's got that ball secured.
It took a swarm of Eagles to bring him down after an 8-yard run. Now at the 42 of Philadelphia. Mariota flips to Dion Lewis, and he is brought down. What a tackle by Jenkins, and there was room to run.
Boy, I tell you, Malcolm Jenkins has had a great series here defensively for the Eagles. There's some great coverage on a couple of plays earlier. Now on this one, this is going to be an opportunity for a big play. There's 27 right there. Watch him diagnose this screen, get up there, hurdle one player, and be able to get Dion Lewis to the ground.
3rd down and 4. You're beyond 60 yards for any kind of field goal try. So at least it looks like 2 down, 4 down territory. 2 more tries if they don't get it here. Pass is incomplete. Corey Davis going to the turf. It's 4th down. It would be 62 yards if you wanted to try a field goal from that range. Ryan Succop has a 53-yarder this year. A career long of 54. So the Titans have to go for it. They converted it last time on 4th and 15. Just over 3 minutes in overtime. Mariota's pass, and the Eagles. There's a flag down. The Eagles thought they had to stop, but the flag inside the 40 brought the roar from this crowd in Nashville.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
He called it on number 24. Is that Corey Graham right there? Actually, it's 22, Sidney Jones, who the call is on. That's who was defending it. I did a little hook and pull around the waist.
Two 4th down conversions in this drive for Tennessee. From the 40, the pitch. And Derrick Henry, Malcolm Jenkins again got there first and wouldn't let go.
He's just had an unbelievable series here in overtime.
That's at least the 3rd or 4th time negative yardage on a run by this Eagle defense against the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, he defended a couple of passes, 2 different receivers down the field, now coming up, and we talked it. I mean, the size of Derrick Henry in the open field, creating a negative play.
A loss of 4. You're looking at a 58-yard field goal attempt if you get nothing here on 2nd and 14. And overtime has 2 minutes and 15 to go and counting. Mariota with the rush. Gets away and is knocked down at midfield. Brandon Graham was there, but the benefit of Haloti Ngata with the pressure.
Yeah, but the big thing is it's Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham forces Marcus Mariota to step up in the pocket. He wins quick coming off the edge.
The 2-minute warning in overtime. Can the Titans tie it? Can they win it? Or is this up to the Eagle defense to finish it? In overtime, Mike Vrabel, his Titans need a field goal to tie this. If they get nothing on these next 2 downs, Doug Peterson and the Eagles win it, and the Titans can win with a touchdown. After that sack, though, you're looking at a field goal now of beyond 60, so they need 19 for a 1st down. They can pick up maybe 15 to get a better field goal opportunity for Ryan Succop. Mariota has time. He's going to run and keep going, and he has put his team in field goal range.
real nice job of making the decision that, you know, it's better to scramble. He checks one time, but I think that's just to move a defender right there. I tell you, he was close to getting that first down.
Within a couple of yards. Ryan Succop will try and tie this game. A 50-yard field goal try. He's hit one from over 50 this season. His career long 54. Titans call time. They're out of timeouts. Eagles have 2. So Daryl, if he makes this, Eagles still have 2 timeouts and a minute plus to try and pull this off. If he misses, Eagles go home winners.
We're walking the offense back out on the field right now too. We're taking the kicking team off.
Wow.
It's kind of, you know, Mike Vrabel
thought about it.
Yeah, I tell you what, this sends such a huge message to your team as a first-year head coach. Is that, you know, we don't play for ties. We're going to win or lose this thing right here.
And they must have a play call on 4th and 2. They've converted 2 fourth down conversions. One of them was 4th and 15.
I love this call.
Well, they'll see if the Eagle defense likes it. And I think we're going to get a timeout, Philadelphia.
And here's one of the big things, right? He talked about Matt LaFleur earning this opportunity. He said he's been so good with his play calling during the first 3 weeks of the season, being able to win games against Houston with a depleted roster, being able to find a way to win in Jacksonville without your starting quarterback who comes in off the bench. You know, and that week, last week during Jacksonville, he really couldn't throw the ball that well, and they actually found a way to win. They actually took some shots down the field. So Matt LaFleur has earned this opportunity right here on 4th down from Mike Vrabel.
LaFleur, the first-year offensive coordinator in Tennessee, was with the Rams and Sean McVay last year and interviewed, as we said earlier, for the Titans head coaching job. But when it went to Vrabel, had a chance to join as the offensive coordinator. A quick summary of how we got here. Passing up the field goal try of 50. Mariota, Titans need 2 yards. Lewis has the yards. A first down for Tennessee, and Lewis maneuvering his way inside the 15 of the Eagles. A gutsy call from a gritty coach, and his team responded.
Deion Lewis is right here. He's going to cross formation, so it makes it real hard. You've got your bunch coming from the offensive right. You have all that traffic going downfield. He's able to find his way into the flat for the catch, and then a nice job after the catch to get some more yards.
Lewis, who was originally drafted in the NFL by the Eagles, on a 4th down conversion, picks up 17 yards.
3 4th down conversions.
Mariota for the win. There's a flag down. Going to his tight end, Jonnu Smith. It's against the Eagles.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 27, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Malcolm Jenkins charged with a penalty. .24 seconds remain. Titans got to think about, they've used their timeouts. They want to win this, they got to do it within that time or settle for a field goal to end up time. Mariota, end zone, incomplete. Sharp the target. On 2nd down, and 20 seconds remain.
Boy, we've had some big misses today. Some of them have been drops. Some of them have been just a little bit off target. There's another one just a little bit outside Tajae Sharpe, but he's open in the end zone for the win.
At 6'2", and those rangy long arms, I think Mariota thought he could get it to him. A tough catch for him. And on 2nd and goal with 20 seconds to go. Mariota dropped. it's third down. You don't convert here, you got to think about settling for the tie.
Well, right now you're right on that threshold. We used to be able to get our field goal team out, but you're coming all the way down into this end of the field. We used to be able to do it in about 16, 17 seconds. So you're right on that cusp right now because you cannot clock it. This is third down. You clock it on the next one, that's fourth, and the game is over. So on this one right here, it has to go into the end zone. You cannot get tackled short because I don't know if they're going to be able to get their field goal team on in time to have that attempt.
Mariota rush, open, catch made. The Titans are going to win in overtime. Corey Davis.
Working from the inside, watch him get Avonte Maddox. He's playing heavy outside. He breaks across the face, a little stumble right there. And you had a size mismatch to begin with. That's what Corey Davis brings to the table outside. And Marcus Mariota does a good job getting it up high so he can elevate and make the touchdown catch to win the game.
The first career touchdown catch of Corey Davis. And it's a Titans overtime win. It has been confirmed. Avonte Maddox having to play because of the injury to Rodney McLeod, which forced Corey Graham to play in this game. 3 fourth-down conversions and the game winner on this drive. More to come from Nashville as the Titans celebrate the OT victory over the defending champs.